G'day, Derbyites, and welcome to our second night of the Creative Arts Emmy Awards coverage here, coming at you from Gold Derby. Gold Derby's Creative Arts Emmys coverage. This is the only place where you can hear the winners announced live, because the Creative Arts Emmys, where they hand out stuff like cinematography, visual effects, guest acting awards, they are not aired live. So this is where you can hear them announced live. So welcome for everyone joining us for the first time this weekend or the second time this weekend. I am Matt Noble, joined here by Rob Licuria, Charles Bright, and Marcus James Dixon. So excited to talk with you guys some more Emmys. And tonight's a big one. We're going to see Severance and Succession go head to head. We're going to see Dope Sick versus The White Lotus. We're going to see whether Ted Lasso can continue to score Emmy goals, or if Hacks or the new entrant Only Murders in the Building can get in their way, or maybe even Barry. There's so much going on. Marcus, you were there last night at the Creative Arts Emmys. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it was really fun last night. I was there with Latasha, and we were in the press room, so we were not in the main auditorium, but lots of big shockers. I was watching your guys' slugfest after the show yesterday, after I got home, and your reactions were our reactions. Like a lot of things we didn't expect, and I wonder if that's going to happen again today.
What are your thoughts, Rob?
I have so many thoughts, and mostly I'm so excited as usual about the 4 guest acting categories, and I'm hoping that we might see a couple of surprises there. And, for once, I actually care about TV movie, because I do want to see Chip and Dale take that Emmy home. I'm very much hoping that will happen.
Right. And Charlie, you're back for night 2. What are you thinking about tonight?
You had me yesterday. You don't need to hear me yapping. I mean, that's not why you had me on here. Obviously, it's so that everybody can get a look at all of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot to look at there. It's beautiful.
I mean, honestly, I think, it is going to be interesting to see these specific, like in categories where we have like Succession, Squid Game, and Severance up against each other, which one will come out on top. I'm wondering if we might get a sweep of some technical things and like miniseries that could help us, if not the miniseries category, maybe the directing category, because that's always one that can be predicted, can sometimes be forecasted through this. So it'll be fun to see.
Fantastic. Yeah. So a Gold Derby has the list of the order in which categories will be announced. And the first one's a big one, casting for a comedy series, where we've got Abbott Elementary, Barry, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Hacks, Only Murders in the Building, and Ted Lasso all competing. And they are all best comedy series contenders. So who do we think might be ahead in that casting race?
I just want to remind people that the winner of these casting categories usually go on to win series. Not all the time, but most of the time. And just looking at the comedy casting, last year was Ted Lasso, which went on to comedy series. And then before that, it was Schitt's Creek, and then Fleabag, and then Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and then Veep. There is a pattern here. So going backwards, I am predicting Ted Lasso for best comedy series. So that's why I'm going with it for casting.
What do you think, Charles?
I actually agree with that a lot. If there's anyone that could, I don't see one like solid alternative. I feel like like Abbott Elementary is also in there. Hacks and Only Murders are also possible winners in this one as well. But because it doesn't feel like there's a single alternative, I think I'd stick with Ted Lasso.
Yeah, Rob, do you agree?
I think when you talk about Only Murders in the Building, the casting is usually what a lot of people like to discuss, and how great it was. Not only for the the trio that leads the show, but of course, just the casting in general. I'm going with Only Murders on that one. But I think it's such a strong field. It really is. And this will be a huge clue as to who might be up front next week.
Yeah. No, fantastic. I think Ted Lasso is the one to go if it's the comedy series front runner. It has the most nominations, but like like you could see them going any other directions. Look at how Hacks did so well in that guest actress comedy series race, the guest actress in a comedy series race. So, obviously the actors branch really liked Hacks this year. And Only Murders in the Building, a big contender, and particularly like sometimes first season shows, which is an argument for Only Murders in the Building, because sort of the whole cast was cast for the first season. So I wonder if that or Abbott Elementary are probably your biggest threats to Ted Lasso there.
And the presenter is Marcia Gay Harden. So Denton just announced that in our Slack channel. He and Chris Beachum are backstage right now.
Right.
One thing you keep an eye on, I think, in Abbott Elementary's favor in this category is the fact that remember when Stranger Things won this, and because of how hard it is to cast kids, and you have a lot of kids. They're not in prominent role. They're not usually in prominent roles, but you do have a lot of kids being cast in Abbott Elementary as well.
Yeah, it's a really good point.
That's a really good point.
We're following the Comedy Casting Award with the Drama Casting Award, where we see Euphoria, Ozark, Severance, Stranger Things, Succession, and Yellow Jackets all competing. What do we think?
Gosh, that's a tough one too, because they're all nominated in drama series as well. Yeah, I don't know. I would probably have said like Severance or Succession there, but Euphoria could probably take that out as well. It's a tough one.
Yeah. No. Any? What do you think, Marcus?
I'm gonna go with Succession. It did win this for season 2.
Ooh, we have a winner.
We've got a winner, and it is an upset.
Wow.
Would you like to tell us who's won Best Casting in a Comedy Series?
Best Casting in a Comedy Series goes to Abbott Elementary. Congratulations to Wendy O'Brien, the casting director there. That's a really great win for that series.
That's huge. And this kind of continues what happened yesterday, which is a lot of surprises. Like the first category of the night, and my mouth is open in shock.
Yeah.
Well, that's such a great cast, great win there. Something that like interesting. Abbott Elementary has 7 nominations in total at this year's Emmys, but the casting award's the only one it's nominated for tonight.
Okay.
Right.
So,
yes.
So it's clean swept its 2 categories for tonight already. We won't get anything else to give us any indication on how strong Abbott Elementary might be going to next week's Emmys now. So it's had as good a night as it could possibly have had.
I'm so happy for them. That's just what a great win.
It cannot win all of the primetime categories and stuff for because it does have 2 supporting actresses. And unless there's a tie, it will lose one of those at least.
Yes. So it can't win all of its nominations. So yeah, it's in 6 categories. And it's won its first. So there you go. Great news, Abbott Elementary. Charles, any thoughts on that?
I mean, I think it also harkens back to how we used to have this category used to be very big with first-year shows. Even if you had something else that would win series, a first-year show would usually be helpful in here. Although in recent years, like we've had Veep win this several seasons in, so it kind of makes sense. It's an interesting harkening back to that. Although I don't know how much I would take this for comedy series though, but I mean I think it shows it's a real player though.
Yes. So with the casting for a drama, which we're still waiting for the announcement of, like, I do think Succession did so well with guest acting nominations this year that's probably out in front. I would love to see Severance win. Partly because I think those 4 principal characters in Severance are just so good. And not just great actors, but they work with each other so well. They were cast like perfectly with each other as an ensemble. And then that's not even including people like Patricia Arquette, who's amazing in the show. So I would love, and I forget his name, but his brother-in-law is just
so good.
So I'd love Severance to win this, even though I love Succession just as much as
I just see like Roadshow 1 and Awards HQ in our comments have very rightly said that Yellow Jackets had such a difficult, challenging casting, situation to cast like actors at different ages. It's a really big cast. It's Junie Lowry Johnson, who's an Emmy winner, and her team. I would say that would be who I would be voting for if I knew anything at all about casting, apart from being a layperson. But yeah, I think that's a really good point that we should keep in mind.
Well,
Yeah.
we have a winner.
We do have a winner. Charlie, who's the winner?
Casting for a drama series goes to Succession.
Succession has won. Because I think there were great arguments for why Severance, and I think you made a really good case there, as did guys in the chat room, Rob, about Yellow Jacket. So that does show maybe the strengths of Succession, that it can overcome some first season shows that had pretty showy, flashy casting in their own rights.
Yeah. I wondered like what they were voting for there. Succession, in its third season, did they have a lot of new characters compared to what Yellow Jackets and Severance
I think it's just the overall love for the show. And
yeah,
I am a little bit disappointed after seeing Abbott win, 5 minutes ago. I was kind of hoping for a Yellow Jackets upset. So I'm a little bit.
Yeah. If you think about what they had to do, I think that was probably maybe Yellow Jackets was a little robbed there, and Severance. But that's okay. We move on.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you guys, even though I would personally think Succession might be the better drama. I think it's definitely doesn't mean it's a worse drama than those other two, but it's really fun to see those first season shows. And Yellow Jackets, casting people that had to play the same character at different ages, really cool.
Yeah.
Let's go to casting for a movie limited series where the nominees are Dope Sick, The Dropout, Inventing Anna, Pam and Tommy, and The White Lotus, which I believe is our miniseries field, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Mirrors the miniseries race. Surely that's between Dope Sick and The White Lotus, given how many acting nominations both of those shows picked up. Different branches, but any thoughts on that?
Yeah. Go ahead, Marcus.
I'm just gonna go with The White Lotus for every category it's nominated in tonight, and we saw in the nominations that this show way overperformed in many categories, particularly supporting actor, supporting actress. So there is a huge love for the show, just like there is for Succession. So it's going to be a little boring whenever you come to me and White Lotus and Succession are nominees. I'm probably going to go with one of them. Sorry to say.
Yeah, no, that's very fair. Charles, what do you think?
Yeah, it's weird. I feel like Dope Sick and The White Lotus are so neck and neck, and because every time I think of something that is a plus for The White Lotus in this category, I think, okay, well, there's also this plus for Dope Sick. So they're very ensemble heavy. Although with Dope Sick, it's more stretched to all sorts of different settings, and with The White Lotus, it's all held together.
Ooh.
And we have a winner.
Marcus, who's won this one?
Best casting in a limited series or movie goes to The White Lotus, and that is Meredith Tucker and Katie Doyle. Congrats.
Fantastic. Really well. Well, congratulations to The White Lotus. A great cast there. Different, teenagers, adults, the people who worked in the hotel, the people who were visiting the hotel, like a really good range of different.
And Jennifer Coolidge. I mean, come on. She is
a lot of white people.
Yeah.
She gave the performance of the year. Like, talk about a renaissance in somebody's career.
And
I don't know if the casting directors can take credit for Jennifer Coolidge. I think Mike White was the one that got her in. But I hear you, Marcus. You're totally right. The best thing about The White Lotus is the cast. Honest for me. Like the cast was so wonderful, and Jennifer Coolidge, man. Like I'm so happy that she is now riding high on this. That was a good win. I'm glad they won.
Fantastic win. Our next category is Best Period Costumes, where we have Angeline, Bridgerton, The First Lady, The Great and the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. And the next presenter from Denton in the press room is Rachel Bloom, is going to be presenting these awards. So what do we think about period costumes, guys? Who's gonna take that out?
Mrs. Maisel won this before in 2019, but lost in 2020. So it lost to The Crown that year. Queen's Gambit won last year. So I don't know what to do with this one. Maybe I'm going to go with The Great.
Ooh, Rob would be happy with that.
I love The Great.
Definitely. I definitely am going to go with The Great on that. Sharon Long came into season 2. She did not design the costumes from the pilot in season 1, so she kind of took what was designed for the pilot and then made it her own. And she's such an amazing designer. Having interviewed her, I really got to know her process. I really hope the voters agree. But this is a strong category. Angeline and Bridgerton obviously have a lot of very noticeable costumes. The First Lady, very historically accurate, and then Maisel, beautiful work, always by that team. So it's going to be a tough one. I'm going to go with The Great because I'm biased. So
The Crown actually won this in 2017, 2018, and 2020. So The Great is a kind of the Crown feely type show. I mean, you've got the regal costumes.
I'm wondering if maybe Mrs. Maisel might be the winner here because it's the one sort of best series. Like that's the one here that was able to get into one of its respective best series race. So maybe it's a bit more support. And there were some really fun costumes this season with the strip club that
you're right.
Mason's working all those like very elaborate, like sort of bubble costumes and things like that.
Is that the episode that they submitted?
I do not know. Well, she's in the strip club a couple of episodes, but what? Yeah, I do not have.
Maisel versus Lennon.
We have a winner.
We have a winner.
The Great.
Marcus.
The Great
wins costumes for period.
Fantastic.
I'm so happy for them. That's that show's first Emmy. I wish it was nominated for Best Comedy Series, but good on The Great. It's a great show. Pardon the pun.
Yeah, a great win for The Great. Very good. So The Great is an Emmy. Did it win an Emmy for its first season, Rob?
No, it didn't. It was nominated for writing and directing last season, and it didn't win.
So it's now an Emmy-winning show. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So fun. We are now going on to contemporary costumes. We better get stuck into that before the Emmys get ahead of us. Blackish, Euphoria, Hacks, Only Murders in the Building, Pam and Tommy, and The White Lotus. Marcus, are you going with your theory of picking The White Lotus for everything?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, you have all of the Hawaiian costumes, like the local costumes, as well as the rich white people costumes. That's the one that stands out to me when I look through this list. Actually, Euphoria stands out to me now that I think about it. I'm curious what you guys think.
It's tough. Contemporary costume work is so difficult to judge it's so difficult generally because it's not like just bonnets and dresses and things that you can really notice. It's all about nuance and character. And so like Only Murders is a good contender here. So is Hacks. Euphoria, of course. Blackish did beautiful work. Pam and Tommy had to be very accurate to what was happening at the time. And then The White Lotus, that's really intricate work that you probably don't even notice. A lot of those beautiful big flowy things that Jennifer Coolidge's character Tanya was wearing, and the great linen suits worn by Armand, played by Murray Bartlett. So there's so much great work here. I think Marcus is right. The White Lotus is going to steamroll today. So I'm going for that one. Alex Boved, she was interviewed by us at Gold Derby. She's a great contender. She did the costumes for Nope. So she's on her way up in the industry, and I think she's going to win.
Charles, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's White Lotus out front, but Euphoria or Pam and Tommy, I think, would be interesting ones to pull off the upset.
Yeah, Pam and Tommy did very well with nominations. Like, I think a lot of the miniseries discussion is going to be centered around The White Lotus and Dope Sick. But actually, Pam and Tommy didn't do too bad with nominations. It's nominated in 10 categories for the Emmys, which is actually the same number as Dope Stick and only 3 short of White Lotus. So yeah, it will be interesting to maybe Pam and Tommy might pop up and get a win at different places. I do think Euphoria is very dangerous here, and I know.
Ding ding, we have a winner.
Whoa, a bit of a surprise here. Charles, want to tell us who's won Best Contemporary Costumes?
Contemporary costumes has gone to Hacks.
Wow.
Wow. I am shocked. That's
Yeah.
so cool for Hacks. But yeah.
That
And
suggests Hacks is more beloved in the Academy than maybe we were giving it credit for.
Yeah. Do we know what episode it submitted?
The episode it submitted was The Captain's Wife.
Captain's Wife.
Is that the one on the lesbian cruise?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a great episode.
It's a damn good episode. It makes
Damn
a
good
lot
episode, and it takes it. Never mind. I'm not going to say anything.
We've got Best Fantasy Sci-Fi Costumes.
Oh, the
coming
one
up
that I've
next.
been waiting for.
The Book of Boba Fett, Loki, Moon Knight, Star Trek Picard, What We Do in the Shadows, and The Witcher.
What an amazing category, man. Isn't it great? Like, first of all, yes, for What We Do in the Shadows, finally getting some love outside of writing. And Star Trek Picard, beautiful costume work. But, God, man, I'm a Marvel freak. So I want Loki or Moon Knight. And I think Moon Knight's going to do this. Megan Kasperlik, her work in that show is phenomenal. So, yeah, I'm going with Moon Knight there.
Yeah. What do you think, Marcus?
You know, I might go out on a limb and go with What We Do in the Shadows. It's never won an Emmy in any category, has it?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I think it's time. It has a huge fan base. It's always up for writing, sometimes multiple times in writing. And you do have, I mean, the costumes are kind of they're noticeable. They're over the top. And so I'm going to go with that one.
What episode did they submit, Charlie? Do you have that down there?
The Wellness Center, which is a great episode.
That's the aerobics. It's all that great 80s stuff. It's just...
It has the great Cree Summer in there as the leader of it. Very under-recognized actress. And yes!
It did it! Congratulations to What We Do in the Shadows.
Is now an Emmy winner.
It's about that time.
Fantasy sci-fi costumes. That is so cool. Great to see a comedy win as well.
The heck of a thing to have going into their season finale.
Comedies have dominated the costumes category with the great Hacks and What We Do in the Shadows. How cool is that? Because you often see the more like important dramas take out these
sci-fi and all that. Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
That's probably never happened.
I love
that's fantastic.
I'm so happy for them.
And so far, we've had 6 categories, and 3 of the best comedy series nominees have already won an Emmy.
But not Ted Lasso.
Not Ted Lasso.
Wow. I bet Apple is shaking in their boots.
We're going to move a little bit from costumes to hairstyling. So still the aesthetic of the look of a show and sort of how the characters are dressed. We've got Bridgerton, and this is period character hairstyling. Richardson, the First Lady, Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Pam and Tommy, and Stranger Things for its first category of the day. What do we think?
Bridgerton.
Stranger Things is very, very, the hairstyles on that show are very obvious. Like, what's the word I'm looking for? They stand out when you're watching the show. When you look at Will and you look at I forget the other guy's name, but the hairstyles really like the eye cannot look away from them. So that's why I'm going to pick Stranger Things.
Okay. Cool. I just can't remember who won last year or last time.
Yeah, we know Riley sometimes can share that information.
But I'm pretty sure
Bridgerton won.
Yeah, I just think Bridgerton's the most obvious choice, but I think like any of these could probably win. It'd be so good for Stranger Things because it's only really got nominations below the line apart from Best Drama Series this year, and so I just would like to see Stranger Things win some stuff.
Yes, and we've heard from Denton. Jane Lynch is going to be presenting these awards or the next block of awards. So Jane Lynch is up there now. I always think like we've seen Marvelous Mrs. Maisel do well in the technical categories in the past, but maybe with losing the costumes to Hacks, maybe the Emmy voters have moved on a bit from Mrs. Maisel.
Yeah, I think they really have.
Yeah, I think so.
Still did well with nominations. Still got comedy series. Still it's done well, but it is a past winner for comedy series, and it used to be winning quite a lot of these Emmys. After we've got the hairstyling, We're going to go to just one of the picture editing categories, and we'll come back to picture editing later in the night. But there's best multi-camera picture editing for a comedy series. We've got a one-on-one showdown between Call Me Kat and How I Met Your Father.
Wow, that's something.
I don't know enough about these two shows, so I'm just gonna throw out. I'm gonna flip a coin. Okay, Call Me Kat is my prediction.
You have coins still?
I'm going to flip my credit card on my phone, and I'm going to go with How I Met Your Father. There you go.
Yeah.
I'm going with How I Met Your Father too.
I hope Call Me
Here we
Kat.
go. We have a winner. We have a winner, Matt.
Who's won?
And the winner of hairstyling in a period show is Bridgerton. Once again, takes it home for Netflix. Congratulations to Erica Ockvist, Jenny Rhodes McLean, and Sim Camps.
Well, now I hope, Marcus, your tails was Cat. Call Me Cat, even though it's Cat was spelled with a K.
Yeah, that's what I'm going with. But
yeah,
it's weird.
I think How I Met Your Mother used to win this category.
Oh, really?
Didn't it back in the day? It did quite
I think
well.
it won it once or twice.
Yeah, so I wonder that'll be a nice sort of for How I Met Your for the father to follow in the mother's footsteps.
I think so. Yeah. Bit of diversity.
Like the past 2 years we've had 3 nominees as opposed to 2, and then before that it was 5. Is this just because the lack of multicam shows?
Yeah, there's probably not as much. They don't have as many submitting, so they probably have had to tailor it down.
I just wonder how long we're going to keep categories open for multicam. They should probably eventually just fold them in. They just won't get a lot of love, I guess. They're not,
In the directing race at the Emmys, one multi-camera show has to be nominated. So the top multi-camera winning show gets in anyway. I wonder if they'll just fold in multi-cam in that way in some of these other categories. Where they'll be, picture editing for a comedy, and there has to be one multi-camera that gets nominated.
That's it's a great idea, Matt. I think you should make that submission to the Academy. Because it's a good idea. Like, we've got that Miss Pat show that I've never heard of that streams on BET Plus or something, which again I've never heard of. But good on them for getting a nomination on Primetime Emmy night, where they're going to have like a nominee amongst all the directing winners and nominees. So maybe they should do that, because having a category with just 2 nominees just seems like a bit of a waste now.
Just give it to both of them.
Yeah, I feel like one of them are going to miss out, and that stinks.
Yeah. We've got best choreography after that for a scripted show. We had a lot of the choreography last night for those reality variety performances and things, but tonight's the scripted show. We've got Euphoria, Goliath, The Porter, Schmigadoon, and Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist. Christmas. Zoe's Extraordinary Christmas. Sorry. What do we think's gonna get in there? Like, I'm thinking maybe Euphoria could open its account.
Yeah, the Euphoria. That's the only series nominee of this list. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Euphoria.
Yeah.
But we have a winner, guys. How I Met Your Father is the winner of picture editing for comedy multi-camera.
Oh, the Queen's let you down, Marcus. How Met Your Father, an Emmy-winning spin-off. It's one in its first season. It's won more Emmys than Better Call Saul.
Oh, why do you gotta go there?
That was a low blow.
I'm gonna sign off
in
after that.
First season, it's one more than Better Call Saul, as in 5. So
for the choreography award, I'm keeping my eye on Schmigadoon or Zoe's Extraordinary Christmas, since those are more your more musical centered ones.
It's very hard to compare the choreography in Euphoria and Schmigadoon.
And the thing about Zoe's Extraordinary Christmas is it is nominated for a TV movie.
Oh yeah. This is its only other nomination.
Yeah, it is. And I think it's the only TV movie with a second nomination. Am I correct there or wrong?
I think
it's the top leading TV movie in terms of nominations, at least that he's also nominated for this movie. Yeah, it's so hard to compare a Euphoria and a Zoe or Schmigadoon. They're just such different beasts how the dance and choreography works. But the Emmy voters have had to do it, and we're about to find out who they have chosen. And we're about to, I think, find out the winner to that category. Any last thoughts on choreography? No? Okay.
No.
Let's move on to... We'll have 3 categories of sound mixing come after that. We're going to the sound mixing categories. I actually think the Emmys tonight have structured the awards in a much less confusing way than last night.
Yeah.
We've got a few odd ones here and there, but we'll generally get to talk about sound mixing for a bit. We'll now talk about the 3 sound mixing categories. So they're grouped in 3s a lot more tonight, with the sort of acting awards sprinkled throughout. But yeah, so it's pretty good. Like, I know we just had sort of one multi-camera picture editing sort of there. We'll come back to picture editing later.
We have a winner.
Oh, great. What's one,
choreography
Marcus?
for a scripted show goes to Euphoria.
Yeah,
Congrats.
Euphoria, fantastic. Great winner. Now, we've got my board behind me. When a show wins 2 Emmys, it will go on the board. We don't have any shows that have won 2 yet tonight, and most of the shows that won Emmys last night aren't eligible in categories tonight. So once we get a show, get its second win, maybe it'll be Euphoria, maybe it'll be Hacks, maybe it'll be The White Lotus, maybe it'll be Succession. We will put it up on the board, and then we can check that out a bit more. So let's talk about sound mixing now. Sound mixing for a movie limited series: Dope Sick, Gaslight, Moon Knight, Pam and Tommy, and The White Lotus. What do you think, Rob?
Oh, look, I think it should be Moon Knight, but I have a feeling again that White Lotus will do very well tonight. Although it lost its last category for costumes. You got to go with Moon Knight here. The music and the way that the sound was mixed together is just phenomenal. It's really, really good work. So that's my choice.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Marcus?
Looking back through the winners of the sound mixing category, we have limited series winners: Queen's Gambit, Watchmen, Chernobyl, The Night of, The People versus OJ, which Riley said earlier was maybe a lazy choice. But because of that, this could be a Dope Stick versus White Lotus. The winner of this could tell us who's going to win limited series. So I am picking The White Lotus.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's. I would lean towards The White Lotus, but I think Moon Knight or Pam and Tommy could be ones to watch. Could be ones that could upset as well.
Yeah, I do think when you think sound mixing, a Moon Knight is really the one you'll go with, but White Lotus is a show with more support across the Academy. Moon Knight did do very well with nominations, though, particularly nominations tonight. So it's not up for any of the awards next week, but it's up for 7 categories tonight. So we'll really see how that plays out. We'll then have sound mixing for a comedy drama series, 1 hour. Would someone else like to read the nominations for these? I'm not wanting to hog them all.
Sure. Sound mixing for comedy drama, 1 hour are Better Call Saul, Euphoria, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Ozark, Stranger Things, and Succession. I got no clue.
Mrs. Maisel stands out there, doesn't it? It's the only comedy against 5 other dramas.
I think the sort of Euphoria sound also is something that seems a bit different, maybe, because of the way it uses music and things. So I think that one's sort of in the mix as well. Stranger Things, though, as well. Its use of sound and mixing different tracks and all that sort of stuff is huge. So,
and Stranger Things is up for that part 1 of the season finale, Massacre at Hawkins Lab. That has a lot of big sound work in it.
Yeah. Previous winners, Mrs. Maisel won this in 2020. Mandalorian won last year, and Game of Thrones won multiple times. So I don't know. I may go with Succession here, just because we know they love Succession. We have a winner. Sound mixing
Wow.
for limited or movie goes to The White Lotus.
That's incredible.
Which is its second
Very-
win of the night. So I can
telling.
put it on our board.
It's very, very telling.
Fantastic.
For that to win over Moon Knight is really pretty amazing. But it had great work. The music in that show is one of the keys. Sorry, Matt, you go ahead. Talk us through the board.
Please. No, that's good comment. So here's the board. Here's some show. So last night we had Black Lady Sketch Show, Lizzo's Watch Out for the Girls, Lucy and Desi, We're Here, I Love Death and Robots, RuPaul's Drag, Last Week Tonight All Win 2. I've got a little White Lotus here. Is going to join them on 2 wins. There you go. On 3, we had Love on the Spectrum and the Super Bowl halftime show. 4 is Arcane. That is competing for another one tonight, so it could move up to 5. And the Beatles Get Back and One Night Only with Adele. Won 5 from 5 last night, and that is them closing their accounts. They're not nominated for any other Emmys this year.
Awesome.
So there you go. We'll update that. And I think we'll see that White Lotus move up on the board as we go through the night.
Yeah.
I love how the sound mixing races separate by 1 hour versus half hour, as opposed to comedy versus drama. I don't understand why they do that. I'm sure there is a reason. Does anyone know why?
My guess would be budget. 1 hour would probably have bigger budget for it.
Yeah, I would have thought the same thing, but then you look at Mandalorian, Boba Fett, like shows like, I don't know, like I think it's just silly. Like, surely it's the same job whether you're doing it in a half hour, 20 minutes. It just seems weird. But Charlie's probably right, because what else would there be?
Of course I'm right.
Well, I don't know. You're not right that often, but I'll give you one win.
For the 1 hour, to take it the 1 hour, like, I do think it's interesting. Better Call Saul, it's gotten 3 Creative Arts nominations. They're all in sound or music categories, which, like, it is very deserved. But the sound music branches must really like this show, because it's getting in here, but not in things like editing or cinematography, things that you think it would be just as likely, or if not more likely, to get in. So there's some affinity with these particular branches and Better Call Saul, and there were episodes airing as it went to the end. But I do think it's probably going to be Maisel, Euphoria, Stranger Things, or Succession.
How great would that be if Better Call Saul won? I would.
That's its win. Sound mixing is.
Yes. I do have Bob Odenkirk winning next week, but
I do too.
At a different time.
Oh yeah. Best sound mixing for a comedy drama series, and animation, half hour. Do you want to take us? Does someone have the nominees? They want to take us through.
Yeah, I can read them. So it's Barry, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Hacks, Only Murders in the Building, Ted Lasso, and What We Do in the Shadows. And by the way, we have a winner for the 1 hour, and that is Stranger Things. Yes. So deserved. Highly, very much deserved.
It was running up that hill, and it got to the Emmys.
It ran
got
up
an
that
Emmy
hill.
for music. Good job. For the Massacre at Hawkins Lab. Don't think it. Make sure you keep that under the amount of time that we wouldn't have to pay
It's all fair
royalties on.
use. It's all fair use.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. Parody for parody. Okay. So,
And if Kate Bush has a problem with it, she can sue me. Go ahead.
okay. Well,
She will see.
challenges. Just don't sue Gold Derby. Okay. So,
What do
what do we think?
What do you think of that category? What do you think will win there?
Is the Barry one? Is that the one? The Barry episode, All the Sauces. Is that the one with the bomb detonation app?
I don't know, because it's damn good.
Because I think that might be it. I think Only Murders in the Building. They have the boy from 6B episode where it's all the muffled sound from the perspective, and so I would say that's I think that might be the one to count on here, or maybe What We Do in the Shadows, the casino episode.
Right. What was the Ted Lasso episode of Rainbow? Which one was that?
That's the one where Roy Kent leaves the studio that he's broadcasting in and returns to coach, and like a big rom-com moment.
to
Oh,
the Rolling Stones Rainbow song.
Yep.
This is his episode that he submitted as an actor, right? Brett Goldstein.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I may go with Ted Lasso just because I think it still is the series front runner. I think we'll find out at the end of today whether it still is. I am going to go with that one. What won last year? Do we have that list? Let me see.
Have a look. Check it.
Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso won last year.
So they're not a bad pick to say that Ted Lasso will just win that again. And that'd be its first win of the night, I think, wouldn't it? Yeah. So it'll open its account for the evening. So yeah, we've seen after we've got a big category. Well, they're all big categories at the Creative Arts Emmys, obviously. The ranking them be arbitrary and reductive, but best comedy guest actress is coming up after the sound mixing categories are done. And we've got Jane Addams from Hacks, Harriet Sanson Harris from Hacks, Jane Lynch, Only Murders in the Building, Laurie Metcalf from Hacks, Caitlin Olsen from Hacks, and Harriet Walter Ted Lasso. Before we talk about that, we have our winner.
Yes. Sound mixing comedy goes to Only Murders in the Building.
You mean sound mixing comedy or drama half hour?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to be clear.
Yeah.
So Only Murders is now an Emmy-winning show. Congrats to Hulu. I wonder if airing during voting helped put it over.
I don't think that helped. I think it's specifically voted on by sound people, and I think they probably had a lot of respect for how the sound in that episode was designed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I will say it didn't hurt.
Right. It didn't hurt.
Four of the best comedy series nominees are now Emmy winners for this year.
Except for Ted Lasso.
Except Ted Lasso is one of the four that is not yet. But it has the most nominations out of any comedy. So I'd be shocked if it didn't win an Emmy this year. Okay, so who do we think's winning comedy guest actress?
Does anybody not have Jane Lynch?
No.
She is getting up there into the Julia Louis-Dreyfus territory. She's won so many, and she was also in Mrs. Maisel, but she was in too many episodes to compete as a guest actress, and that's probably really, really good for her because she would be like nominated against herself, and then maybe she wouldn't win that way. But I can't see any. The four Hacks ladies are probably going to split the vote. If one of them wins, maybe Jane Addams, because she was also last year for the show.
I think it would probably be either Laurie Metcalf, because she's Laurie Metcalf, and she is fantastic on that show, and or Harriet Sanson Harris, because she has hers is a single episode that really centers on her character.
I had not. Oh, sorry, go.
Jane Lynch was only in the one episode? Is that right? Where she played Steve Martin's double? Okay.
Yeah,
and it's a great reveal when they reveal it's
so
her
funny.
as the stunt double. It's so perfect.
It made me laugh. Like, of all of these six ladies, they're all fantastic actresses, but Jane Lynch is the one that made me laugh, and this is a comedy category.
The way she mirrored Steve Martin's movements while they're eating breakfast, it's like it's perfect.
When the nominations came out, I hadn't seen Hacks season 2 yet, and I how boring. They've nominated 4 Hacks actresses, and as I watched the season, they're all so good. Particularly in there, they've each got a bit of a showcase episode. And I was like, oh, these are a great set of nominations. So I think it's a really great job, and there aren't too many here that I wouldn't be happy with taking out the win. I thought particularly Jane Addams and Laurie Metcalf were fantastic in Hacks, but Jane Lynch was great in Only Murders. She doesn't have to worry about I think it's even hard to pick who is the best of all the Hacks actresses, so that could be tricky there. And Harriet Walter's great in Ted Lasso as well. She's
surprised
really
she didn't submit. I'm surprised she didn't submit No Weddings and a Funeral as her one, because this is the episode where she doesn't have as much to do and she doesn't have as much of the completed arc.
Yeah, that's fair. That's very fair.
The next presenter is Jane Levy. Zoe herself is presenting. And Jane Lynch, by the way, she won for Glee, twice for Hollywood Game Night, once for Dropping the Soap, and once for Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
So we know the Emmy voters,
And that's
like
all over a
Jane
span
Lynch.
of just 12 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we know the Emmy voters like her, so that I think helps her case as well. So, yeah, Jane Lynch out front, who won the Gold Derby Award as well.
Okay.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah, actress
Oh
in
my
a
God.
comedy series this year goes to Laurie Metcalf for Hacks.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh,
She
so
was
happy.
great. She was very good. Like, I'm sad for Jane
Was.
Lynch, but she was a great call.
That character is so funny, and she's just mate. I just brings me back to the days when she kept winning for Roseanne, and she's just one of my favorite actors of all time. And then yeah, I'm very happy about this. And I'm sorry.
This is very much how a lot of people reacted when she won her second Tony for Three Tall Women.
Yeah, and
Like,
the
oh
fact that
wow,
she should have. I wish she had won for Lady Bird, the Oscar for Lady Bird, but
same.
I just feel like Laurie Metcalf is very popular.
This
I'm-
is
I'm-
her.
I'm
This is
stoked.
her fourth Emmy. She won 3 in a row, 92, 93, 94 for Roseanne. So she hasn't won since 1994.
Yeah,
Many
it's
of
about-
our viewers, many people watching this were not even alive the last time Laurie Metcalf won an Emmy.
I remember it very clearly because I'm old.
I have to go take my Metamucil now.
Hacks,
I get-
that's its second win of the night. It's won costumes and it's won guest actress. So it goes on the board. I'll put it up here. There we go. We've got Hacks right next to our White Lotus on 2. So 2 Emmy wins for Hacks. Very good. And 2 categories that
Oh, we
I
already
don't
got
think
another
Hacks
winner.
was expected to win. Oh,
We do too.
So yeah,
Oh,
for
yes.
cinematography for a single camera series half hour.
can you read out the
nomin-
nominations first, Charlie? Just so
That's what I'm
people know
doing.
who the nom- Yeah,
Yeah,
okay, good.
so
Thank you.
our nominees were Atlanta, Barry, Grownish, Hacks, Insecure, and Russian Doll. And the Emmy went to Atlanta
Okay.
for the episode 3 Slaps.
Way to go for them. FX is having an okay night. And What We Do in the Shadows won and Atlanta won.
Yeah. Good on
It's
them.
fantastic. So, what? Any quick thoughts on that before we move on to the next category?
I didn't watch the new season of Atlanta, so no.
Okay, great. Anyone disappointed about a show not winning? Like, it's surprising Hacks didn't win that after winning the last. I was sort of expecting a Hacks
Right.
like to get on a bit of a roll there. And Barry has great cinematography too. So, anyway,
Yeah.
we're now going to
Barry-
go to cinematography.
Oh, Chris Beachum says Laurie Metcalf was not in attendance. She probably
not
thought, I haven't won an
surprised.
Emmy since 1994. I'm not going.
Yeah, I'm not surprised either because like how quickly that cinematography award came in.
Yeah, that's what
I
I
was
was
not ready. Yeah,
Ah.
like I was thinking, oh yeah. But let's go to cinematography 1 hour. Euphoria, Loki, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Ozark, Squid Game, and Winning Time: The Rise of the Lakers Dynasty.
If I was a voter, of these shows, the one with the best cinematography is Euphoria. It is beautiful to look at, the way it's shot and the camera angles and the lighting, and that would be my vote.
I would love to see Squid Game win, but I have a feeling, Marcus, you're right about Euphoria.
Oh, we have a winner.
Well, the winner for cinematography single camera 1 hour is Euphoria. So that you did it. It was a good feeling, guys, that you guys had. And that is
Amazing.
Euphoria's second win of the night. So I'm going to put my.
And we have a big one coming up next.
Oh, do you want it while I get my glittery E on the number 2 board? On the 2 board, you can run us through the nominees, Marcus.
Okay, best drama guest actress. Hope Davis, Succession, Marcia Gay Harden, The Morning Show, Martha Kelly, Euphoria, Sana Lathan, Succession, Lee Yu-mi, Squid Game, and Harriet Walter, Succession.
It's a tough one.
There you go.
I think I switched a lot in my predictions at Gold Derby. I think I finally settled on Lee Yu-mi for Squid Game,
Yeah.
thinking Squid Game is going to win something, and there's no vote splits for Lee Yu-mi. She's the only nominee here from that show. She had that really great episode with the marbles. I think I'm picking her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I have Lee Yu-mi winning as well. I'm also very wary of Martha Kelly for Euphoria.
Same. And Marsha Gay Harden in Morning Show. But Lee Yu-mi was such a highlight in Squid Game, and she is such a massive star in Asia. Like she's a rock star over there. So it'd be huge for the Emmys to have that cultural impact over in Korea and Japan and China, where she's so popular. Yeah, I'm super excited about this one. Of course, I got to interview her, so I'll just take all the credit because that's that's how we roll.
And Lee Yu-mi, she won her Gold Derby Award too. She gave a really great speech in Korean. I think Harriet Walter has a great shot here as well, because I mean this is a character that keeps coming back, and they usually like the type of the supporting characters in guest stars. They go for those quite a bit.
Oh, I'm on the edge of my seat.
Her character's so infuriating, though.
Oh, she's great. I love her. Matt, who are you picking? Did you say?
I can't remember who I predict in the prediction center. I'd probably go with Lee Yu-mi as well at the moment. But I wonder if we get a bit of like pause with sort of Jane Addams being able to. Sorry, not Jane Addams. Laurie Metcalf being able to overcome the 4 Hacks nominees, whether one of those Succession people might surprise.
Yeah, it's possible there. It's definitely possible.
Denton says the next presenters are James Caverly and Ryan Broussard from Only Murders.
Oh, fantastic. Nice. James Caverly is good. Why isn't he not nominated? I just don't understand. Like, he really should be. He's fantastic. In guest actress, if you were to pick a Succession actress, I would probably assume Harriet Walter would be the one that most voters probably gravitate towards. She's got a great episode, a great scene, obviously in County Shire, where she's with Sarah Snook, and I mean she's a legend. But Hope Davis is great as well, obviously, and Sinan Lathan has a smaller role, but obviously made an impact because she's in this list. So, yeah, it's a tough one.
And Harriet Walter got him for guest actress comedy and guest actress drama. So maybe, that could help her. And she plays quite a pivotal role in the season.
Ooh.
Yes. Oh, I'm so happy. Oh, my gosh.
Outstanding guest actress in a drama series goes to Lee Yu-mi for Squid Game.
Congratulations.
That's huge.
Huge. Really huge.
Good for her. She's so good at that.
Good
Is
for the
she
show.
The first non-English language actress to win this category?
I would say so. We should probably check
so.
That. Yeah, I would think so. Does this? Do you guys think this portends well for Lee Jung Jae, Oh Young Soo and Park Hae Soo and Jung Ho Yeon on the big night next week? I mean, it could.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think that in drama actor, I think Succession will vote split, and I have Bob Odenkirk being the benefit of that, but it definitely could be.
I think that could help. I think it might help someone like an Oh Young Soo, possibly in supporting actor.
Why do you say that, Charlie? How come? Why do you think Oh Young Soo is more out in front?
Because I think that I don't know. I just feel like maybe because I feel like his is very episode specific, and of course that's also the episode he submitted. And if actors who are voting on this are watching those episodes, then I think it's very possible that I wouldn't be surprised at all to see him win that. And I think he's very close in that.
And Lee Yu-mi is there in the room. Chris says she gave a very fun, exciting speech. Hopefully she goes backstage and talks to the press. That would be awesome.
You know what's great as well, Marcus? I was just thinking that means she'll probably, if she's in LA, she'll be invited hopefully to the main show. You know how the guest acting winners will then present to the writing or directing. I hope that happens, and I hope she might have her translator out with her. But that will bring so many eyeballs. Not that I care about this, but it'll make a lot of her fans want to see the show. I am actually stunned that this has happened. I'm so thrilled for her. That's brilliant. What a great start to her career now. Who knows where she'll end up. She could be a huge worldwide sensation after this Emmy win. I'm very happy.
Yeah.
Coming up next, we have special visual effects for season or a movie.
Yes.
Oh, visual effects. It's one of my favorite categories. It's where
What are the nominees, Marcus?
I love these categories. So we have...
read out the nominees and then read out the winner. Because
the nominees were The Book of Boba Fett, Foundation, Lost in Space, Stranger Things, and The Witcher. And congratulations to The Book of Boba Fett, has just won special visual effects in a season or a movie.
Isn't it interesting how they split them up that way? They've done it like season, the visual effects for the whole season or movie, and then visual effects for one episode. It used to be visual effects and supporting visual effects.
Yeah,
they changed it up. So Book of Boba Fett, not surprising, but that was a ridiculously challenging category to win because Foundation, Lost in Space, Stranger Things, and The Witcher all have incredible work. And then, of course, in the other category, you've got some killer shows as well. Is that next actually in the list?
That's next.
Yes. We have those.
Okay,
so let's go through the nominees right now. The nominees
there are The Man Who Fell to Earth for its pilot, C, which is a show that stars Riley Chow, Snowpiercer, Squid Game, and Vikings Valhalla. And I would say Squid Game for the VIPs episode is probably the front runner in that category.
Was that the one with the bridge?
Yes.
Okay, I think that's funny.
Yeah.
Although, ironically, the Vikings episode is called The Bridge.
Yeah, and
so,
the Vikings
heavy category.
Yeah, it wins it often, and so it could happen. And while we're waiting, Chris mentioned earlier that we had two of the cinematography winners part of our panels. That we've got the best panels at Gold Derby. I'm noticing a lot of these winners we have interviewed either in a panel or one of us have interviewed in our one-on-one Q&As. And I'm not suggesting that it has anything at all to do with the winners, but it's just nice that we get to say, look, we got to chat with these winners and understand their process and their art form. And so yay to Gold Derby for getting such great access to such amazing talent like all these Emmy winners. That's really cool.
You're not saying it did anything necessarily, but you're not saying that it didn't do anything necessarily.
It doesn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt you to just come along and be interviewed by one of us because it probably will, it won't hurt you. That's all I'm saying.
Look, the thing is, on the path to winning an Emmy, they went through Gold Derby. Did it make the difference? We'll never know.
Yes.
But
yes. Yes, it made a difference.
And then after visual effects, we have two stunt categories. First would be comedy.
Comedy or variety. I got those nominees in front of me.
Hit us up with them.
We have Barry, Cobra Kai, Hawkeye, Peacemaker, Righteous Gemstones, and What We Do in the Shadows.
Cobra Kai is literally about fighting. So
and so Peacemaker.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a killer category. I hope either of them.
We have the winner for visual effects for an episode. Hey. What was it, Rob?
It was Squid Game for VIPs, yet another interviewee. But no, really good work from them. Congratulations to VIPs for taking that out. What an incredible episode. It's one of my faves. Good stuff.
So Squid Game makes it onto the board.
Second win for Squid Game. I've got our Squid Game card to go on the board. It's on 2. We're still yet for a show from today to get 3. We've got White Lotus, Hacks, Euphoria, and Squid Game all on 2 Emmy wins. So there you go.
For the stunt category, I'm looking back at the previous winners. Cobra Kai actually lost this twice to Glow, of all shows.
Yeah.
So maybe I won't predict Cobra Kai here. Maybe Barry. Barry had a lot of
Barry
scenes this season.
Yeah, Barry or
especially for that 710 North episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Cobra Kai, I love it because it's just old school stunt stuff.
Yeah,
like, it's just be a really cool winner because I just think it's like a
so
real
intricate.
callback.
Yeah. Hawkeye did some amazing stunt work as well, by the way. It's a really tough category. Hey, I'm gonna go now, but it was great to see you all.
Rob, what?
Yeah, I have to go now, but it was really great. Enjoy the rest of the Shmemmies tonight, and everybody, make sure you're back with us next week for the big show. But you guys are doing a killer job, and see you later.
Take care, Rob.
Bye.
The next presenters are Niecy Nash and her stunt double JJ Branch, because they're presenting the stunt categories. So that's kind of cute.
Yeah. Wow. So yeah, that's really cool. So what do we predict? So we've got also then stunt coordination for a drama movie limited. The nominees for that are The Blacklist, The Book of Boba Fett, Moon Knight, 911, Lone Star, Stranger Things, and The Witcher. What do we think there, guys?
Hasn't The Blacklist won this several times?
Let me look.
I feel like it's like Blacklist has won this category several times, so I'm kind of leaning maybe towards that. But if it wasn't that, I would probably say either Boba Fett or Moon Knight.
Blacklist won in 2014. I think just once. But yes, you are correct. I'm going to go with Squid Game. It's the biggest show in the world.
For which category?
Oh, am I looking at the wrong list?
Yeah. You're looking at stunt performance, which is coming up afterwards. We're looking at stunt coordination for a drama movie or limited.
Gotcha. Okay. Stranger Things. Sorry.
I love it. And Charlie,
the winner,
stunt coordination. Or Marcus,
coordination, comedy or variety goes to Barry. Woo! Barry's on the board. Oh wait, no,
is that Barry's first win of the night?
Yes.
There we go. So our 5th best comedy series contender to have an Emmy tonight, Barry.
Would not think that Barry would be on that board before Ted Lasso.
Yeah. It is wild. So we've got the drama race. We've then got the best stunt performance, where we've got Barry again, The Blacklist, Hawkeye, Moon Knight, Squid Game, and Stranger Things. And you would think that one, Marcus, Squid Game.
I think I'm going to do Squid Game for this one. It's for stick to the team. I don't remember what episode that was.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
I kind of want to go with Barry because it's specifically the 710 North episode.
Yeah, it's a good one, and we've seen it's already won a stunt award. So we'll see how it goes with that. Any other thoughts on the stunt performance category? No. Okay, I think it's cool to see Hawkeye nominated. I feel like that show, like with a few stunt awards, I feel like that could have gotten a few more nominations than it did. You know, that was a great Marvel miniseries. That did really well. So yeah, I think while we've still got 2 more stunt, and then we're going to makeup. We're going to do the makeup categories. So the first makeup category we're going to have is Best Period Character Makeup Non-Prosthetic. The First Lady, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Pam and Tommy, Star Trek Picard, and Stranger Things. So what do we think about that one, guys?
So non-prosthetic, so that's like not the monsters and the goblins. It's just kind of like your normal type makeup.
Yeah, nothing, no like additional like pieces on you.
Like the plastic things that get stuck on your face and all that sort of thing.
Right.
Or the things I wear on a Friday night normally.
It's interesting. Stranger Things is nominated here. I guess I'll pick that one. I mean, it's definitely the most watched of all of these shows.
Yeah,
I kind of feel like Star Trek Picard could pull this one off.
That's fair. It's very fair. Stunt coordination, drama or limited has gone to Stranger Things.
Congratulations.
Is that Stranger Things' second win of the night?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it won sound mixing too, didn't it?
Yep.
So that means we're going to get Stranger Things on the board. I'm going to put it upside down. There you go. What Stranger Things, you'll get that.
I fear if that ever wins drama series, you're going to start the post show with your camera upside down. If it wins best drama series, that is how the post show will begin. So congratulations, Stranger Things. Great season. Good to see a win there for a second win for it tonight. So makeup, we then go to contemporary makeup non-prosthetic, which is American Horror Stories, American Horror Story double feature, Angeline, Euphoria, Impeachment, and Ozark. What do we think?
I'm thinking Euphoria. If you watch the show, some of the characters just really stand out with their makeup, particularly Jules. I mean, she's always got like the glitter on her face that it's really beautiful. It's really striking. I'm going to pick that one.
I think that's a good bet. What do you think, Charlie?
I think Euphoria would be I think it's between Euphoria and Impeachment.
That's fair. That's very fair.
You have everybody recreating those 90s looks. And most of Sarah Paulson's stuff wasn't prosthetic. The only thing that was prosthetic, I think, on her was the nose.
It's interesting because Impeachment is nominated in contemporary as opposed to period.
Yes. And I think even in different branches at the end.
And yes, there was Pam and Tommy.
We have the stunt performance winner, and that has gone to Squid Game, which means it is our first show tonight to get up to 3 Emmy wins. So Squid Game out in front.
Everyone, go change your drama series predictions to Squid Game now.
One stunt performance.
Succession only has the one win, is that right?
Yeah.
Succession, but I mean, if it's that's the one win you want. Casting, if you're gonna only win one, that's one you want to win.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Because what do I have here? So it is interesting the sort of race between different things, because we have Succession has the most nominations of any drama series this year on 25, any series this year on 25. But because they've got so many of them concentrated in the different acting races, it's only actually in 13 categories. So like 25 nominations spread over 13 categories, whereas Euphoria has 16 nominations, but that's spread over 15 categories. So I've actually got Euphoria competing in more categories than Succession at the Emmys this year. And because so much of Succession is also like writing, directing, supporting actor supporting 3 of the acting categories next week, Euphoria tonight's in 12 categories, as is Stranger Things, where Succession's only going to be in 7 tonight.
Look at you with all the stats.
Yeah, I've got a table here of how many categories and nominations each show has, and for tonight and for next week. So you can ask me any show that's nominated for drama or comedy series.
The next presenters are Sam Richardson from Ted Lasso and Ashley Nicole Black from Black Lady Sketch Show.
She's also a writer on Ted Lasso as well.
Oh,
beautiful.
That's cool.
And then we have prosthetic makeup to talk about.
Yes. Who are the nominees for that?
That would be Angeline. Am I pronouncing that correct?
I think so.
Followed by Gaslit, Impeachment, Star Trek Picard, and Stranger Things. And to me, this one seems like a lock. This is the prosthetic makeup where they put everything on you. This is the Vecna category that I'm sure is the reason Stranger Things got nominated here. So I'm going to go with that one.
Not a bad guess. What do you think, Charlie?
I think I would go with either Stranger Things or Star Trek Picard, because those Star Trek, that's like a prosthetic, dream there.
Mm-hmm.
I did interview Emmy Rossum, who played Angeline, and boy, like the amount of prosthetics they had to put on her for different incarnations of that character, like these sort of like the big breasts they put on her, the things they stuck up her nose to get the nose in the right shape. That was a huge just transformation. So I would like that was very flashy, but I do think probably your Stranger Things and Star Trek might be where things land here. I agree.
How could you vote against Vecna?
Yeah, well, I'm not voting against Vecna. I please, Vecna, don't come for me. Okay.
Oh, we have a winner. Best makeup for period is Pam and Tommy.
There you go. Taking out Stranger Things and the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, so some sort of series contender. The limited series contender reigns supreme there.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like that one for the Jane Fonda episode. Jane Fonda was not in it, in case you're wondering.
No.
Glad that has at least some Emmy Gold to their name, because it was so good.
It's way better than I thought it would be. I kind of went into it being like, do I really want to watch a show about Pam and Tommy? And apparently I did, and I didn't know I wanted to.
I do think I still maintain that Jason Mantzoukas was robbed for a voiceover acting nomination for his cameo in episode 2.
Yeah. Oh boy. Once we get past the makeup categories, we have production design, sets, and the whole sets and set design, and the environments and spaces of the TV shows. So that's a really important part of television, and I always get pretty excited about them. And I think yesterday, Charlie, we teased this as one of the most anticipated categories coming up. Before we get to that one, we're going to talk about production design for a narrative period fantasy program, 1 hour or more, which has The Gilded Age, The Great, Loki, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and Stranger Things. What do we think there?
I think either The Great or Stranger Things, because that's the one with the massacre at Hawkins Lab.
Yes. And did they go? They went into the Upside Down on that episode as well, I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they had to, recreate our world completely differently, with dark, scary monsters and slime everywhere. So that would probably be my pick. But Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, with what they created on the stripper stage with all of the different levels, and that really stood out to me as well.
Yeah, I was definitely watching that going, what kind of budget does this strip club have? Like, this is a very elaborate set. It
was the 60s. It was the 60s. It was when people used to dress in suits to fly on airplanes. Of course, the strip clubs were going to be classy like that.
Yeah, it was very impressive, though. It was very good. So a win for Maisel or Stranger Things would be great here, as would The Great.
The Great. I mean, all the castles and that was the wedding episode. I could see that winning, especially after it won earlier today.
Yeah. We then go to one of the big categories of the night: production design for a narrative contemporary program, 1 hour or more. Oh, do you have a winner?
I mean, can I read the nominees?
Yes. Tell us the nominations, Joe.
We have The Flight Attendant, Ozark, Severance, Squid Game, Succession, and The White Lotus.
Ooh.
Wow.
Is this one of the only categories where White Lotus and Succession go head to head?
It has to be. I think there was one earlier tonight, wasn't there?
Maybe. Before we get to breaking that down, we do have an Emmy winner for Makeup Contemporary. And that Emmy winner is one that's going to be moving up to 3, Euphoria.
It's the Jules makeup, I'm telling you.
So Euphoria and Squid Game are now up on 3. So quick, get to that prediction center. Take out Squid Game. Put Euphoria in there. This drama series next week. Okay. Fantastic. So yeah, Charlie, where were we? We were
the best production design for narrative contemporary program. I'm very wary of White Lotus, but the Squid Game. That's the Gambu episode. That's where you still have that insane, colored stairway that they all walk through, and you also have that extravagant alleyway setup for where the game actually takes place. It feels like that is such an obvious one to me, but still, also Severance. The way that those sets were constructed are down in the Lumen Industries area is insane.
Yeah,
and then of course White Lotus is one that's going to be doing really well tonight. So it wouldn't surprise me at all to see this see that one pick it up.
Yeah, this is an exciting category, and it's interesting because the White Lotus got to submit the entire season here, but all of the other nominees just had to pick one episode. Oh no, Ozark picked 3, it looks like.
So they can, that's great. So the Emmy voters can see the water view room and the pineapple room while they can see these 2 excellent, fantastic rooms that were designed. They can see a room with a plunge pool but no ocean view, and a room with an ocean view but no plunge pool. The range is incredible. I do think all the set design for these 5 shows is amazing. But what I would say is that this has to be Severance or Squid Game. Just the sets are so iconic and distinct. And I'd actually vote for Severance if it was up to me. I just think it's a bit more minimalist and understated than the Squid Game one, but just that world of tunnels and passageways and everything. What do we have the episode that was submitted for that one?
Good News About Hell.
Great. Okay, I'm glad they didn't go with the final for that, which mainly takes place in Rickon's cabin. So I'm glad we're in the world of Lumen for that episode. So that's what I'd be voting for. But yeah, Squid Game, they're both such iconic, distinctive sets.
I would vote for Squid Game. As soon as Charlie mentioned that colorful staircase, it took me back. And
yeah,
that it was just so the colors that just stood out to you, and the weird design.
It looked like it was an MC Escher painting brought to life.
Yes, it did. I would be surprised if that lost.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a winner. Best makeup prosthetic goes to Vecna, Stranger Things.
Quick, take Euphoria out of your predictions for drama series. Put Stranger Things in. It's now on.
It's a lock.
It's a lock. So you got. We're getting a real fun race in the drama series where we've got Stranger Things, Euphoria, and Stranger Things all just moving up on their Emmy tally. And
that's their third win tonight.
Yeah.
This is the kind of news that Succession loves, because now there is no show in second place. There's essentially a tie for second place if you think Succession is the front runner, and that is just really good, because in other words, there's not one alternative. There are many alternatives.
And Succession has, as we say, it's won a big one, which is casting, which often goes with it. So even though they're behind in total, you'd think that casting sort of shows that they're still in this race in a big way. So yeah,
and it won casting, and it maybe it shouldn't have won casting. I'm not taking anything away, but there really weren't that many new characters this season, whereas you had some first-year shows that really stood out for the casting. So the fact that it won that is huge.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Talking a bit about Stranger Things just for a second now, it's on 3 wins. It's nominated in 13 categories, the same number of categories that Succession actually is, but 12 of those are tonight. So it's only in one category next week, and that's the drama series race. It's in 12 races tonight. So, and up with Euphoria, that's the most of any drama or comedy series nominee or limited series nominee as well. So Stranger Things has the most opportunities tonight, along with Euphoria.
The next presenter, Denton says, is John Huertas from This Is Us. Miguel. What's our next category, Matt?
Fantastic. And This Is Us, a show that was underrepresented.
Yeah, you could say that. They only got one nomination, and it was
At the
music and
Emmys.
lyrics.
So our next category, we're waiting on production design for period fantasy. After that, we have, but the next one, our discussion is production design for narrative program, half hour. Nominees there are Bob Hart's America, Emily in Paris, Hacks, Only Murders in the Building, Schmigadoon, Ted Lasso, and United States of Al.
Only Murders in the Building stands out to me. They literally, created an apartment building.
I'm looking at Ted Lasso is standing out to me because it's for the episode Beard After Hours. So you have Coach Beard going to the nightclub and then going to the drinking club and then going to other places like the underground club in the church. So,
I hated that episode. The production design was brilliant, but that was probably my least favorite episode of the year of any show.
I loved it. I love that episode.
I love that Brendan Hunt last year, because that episode had just aired when the Emmys happened last year. And so at the after parties, after Ted Lasso won comedy series, he was partying with the pants that he was wearing from that episode.
That's so cool.
Wonderful.
Yep.
Oh.
Well, a surprise here. The Emmy for Best Production Design, Period or Fantasy, has gone to The Gilded Age. So there you go. Taking out things like Mrs. Maisel, a comedy series contender, Stranger Things, that's doing really well at the moment. So Gilded Age, I think we were just sort of underestimating it because it wasn't a show that had a whole bunch of other nominations.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Very interesting. Wonder if that bodes for some production design upsets. Maybe Squid Game and Severance are more vulnerable than we were thinking.
And maybe Schmigadoon could win the half-hour production design. I mean, Only Murders, yes, they created the apartment building, but Schmigadoon created an entire town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that is a very, call back to the old musical sets, where, you can tell it's not going for realism, Schmigadoon, which gives them an opportunity to play around with colors and conventions that a lot of other shows can't. So, yeah, I think that's definitely in the race. And it is very different to the set designs in all the other shows that are nominated as well.
My only complaint with Schmigadoon, not enough Martin Short. I wanted more Martin. Season 2.
Well, if you want more Martin Short, maybe Only Murders in the Building was more of your jam. Which had
who do you think Martin
Short?
Who do you think he's rooting for in this production design category? Schmigadoon or Only Murders?
Oh, Only Murders.
Surely Only Murders. He must spend more.
Only Murders, because that gives him better. That might boost his chances in both comedy actor and comedy series. Because he's an executive producer.
Oh, yes. So as an executive producer, the Only Murders person is sort of working for him. It's one of his team. So, yeah. Only Murders. It's in a building. It's got in the title is the production design almost, which is always fun.
And, season 2 was airing, which we talked about earlier, but season 2 went down into the building more. You get to see.
Yes.
Oh, we have a winner.
Fill us in, Charlie.
Production design for a narrative contemporary program 1 hour or more goes to Squid Game.
Ooh.
That's a good win.
Which brings it up to 4 wins. Which is so it's now tying with Arcane and is that the right way? And making a serious Denton being the leading show on our Emmys board for 2022. So fantastic. Now watch Euphoria win 1 and Stranger Things win 1. Like, because it seems like they're all chasing each other tonight.
I think I may get rid of Bob Odenkirk in my Best Actor prediction. Squid Game is doing better than I thought it would do, and so it seems more and more like Lee Jung-jae is going to win.
Yeah, the fact that it's already won an acting award does bode well. I'm gonna so far I'm sticking with Bob, but we'll see. Production design for a narrative half-hour program. Yeah, we've talked about that a little bit. And then we're going to go from production design categories to picture editing. The editing, how they cut things together and edit together the stories, stitch together the pieces, which, like, in an age of streaming is quite different in a sense where they're not, a lot of the shows we're watching today aren't restricted by the same sort of 22, 44 minutes blocks, which might give some editors a bit more freedom. So we've got is there an update? I just saw an update on the Slack. No,
it's Daniel saying Squid Game winning production design is his favorite win of the night.
It's a good win. It's like a great, even though I was going for Severance, that is such a great set. So I think that could be one of the best wins of the night.
And I would say the same thing if Severance had won. I would be like, I was rooting for Squid Game, but damn, the Severance one is really good.
Yeah. Single camera picture editing for a drama series. We've got a lot of Succession here, and we've got a lot of Severance here. So we've got Euphoria, and we've got Squid Game, and then we've got 2 nominations for Severance: the In Perpetuity episode and the Way We Are episode. Then for Succession, we've got All the Bells Say, the finale, and Chris and Shire, which I think was the second last episode. Chris and Shire?
We do have a winner. Best production design half hour goes to Only Murders in the Building,
which is its second win of the night.
Yep.
So it can go on the board.
And you left out Stranger Things in that lineup.
You know what? Like, this is an aside, and no one probably cares about this at all. How many shows starting with S are in the drama categories this year?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. The single camera picture editing, you have Euphoria, and then 2 Severance, Squid Game, Stranger Things, 2 Succession.
Yeah. Best drama series, you've got Succession, Severance, Squid Game, Stranger Things, and this one doesn't really start best, but Better Call Saul. You've got like it's just, I'm getting like the alliteration's going nuts. I've got a little magnifying glass for Only Murders in the Building. And that's on 2 now. I didn't know to do a magnifying glass or a microphone. I went with magnifying.
For this picture editing category, Stranger Things won this in 2017. Succession won this in 2020. The Crown won last year, which The Crown beat itself last year, but it was up against 1 episode of The Handmaid's Tale and 4 episodes of The Mandalorian. So in other words, don't count out like both. Don't think that the Severances could vote split, and don't think that the Successions could vote split, because it's possible one could win. I don't really know what I'm going to pick in this category. I'm just going to go with Euphoria because it starts with an E and there's a lot of S.
I don't think that's the worst. That's not the worst idea I've heard. So you know what? More power to you if you get that right.
I think you could have like Squid Game or Stranger Things take this out. We're seeing them do well with wins tonight already, and although
Squid Game with that episode, Gumbo, you have it's cutting together the 3 or 4 separate teams that you see throughout the entire episode and cutting those storylines together.
Yeah, I think also you've got Severance is an interesting one because you do cut between the two worlds, the sort of Severance and the other world, which the way we see a bit less of that, but I guess it's a bit more in real time where we're going between the buttons being pressed and
that was such a good scene. Like the editing had to be right in order for that to be as good as it was.
Yeah.
And boy, Succession, that season final was great as well. So
one other thing, when Succession won this in 2020, it beat itself. So there were 2 Successions.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
We then got Best Single Camera Picture Editing for a Comedy Series, where we've got another bit of potential vote splitting happening. We've got Barry Hacks and Insecure. Then we've got the Only Murders in the Building fan fiction episode and the Only Murders in the Building open and shut episode. And we've got the Ted Lasso No Weddings and a Funeral episode and the Ted Lasso Rainbow episode.
Last year, Ted Lasso beat itself in editing. So it won for The Hope That Kills You and lost for Make Rebecca Great Again.
So I think No Weddings and a Funeral could be a very strong contender there, because that had the scene where you alternate between Ted talking about when his father killed himself and Rebecca talking about catching her father cheating, and the way that they cut back and forth between them is so well done. I think that's probably one of the. I think probably my personal favorite scene of the second season.
Yeah.
Of all these shows, Barry seems to be the most visual. And starting now, I believe that was the premiere.
No, that was the finale. That's the finale.
The finale was my favorite episode. The scene with Henry Winkler and the father of the detective that died. I'm sorry, I don't know. That was so intense. I loved that scene so much. And I don't really think there was a lot of editing in that. I think it was just kind of like a slow zoom. I'm going to go with Barry.
Hacks is interesting because that's the episode, I believe, where there's the mixed martial arts fight. So you have that element brought into that, and that could, that could help it there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, that's a great category, actually. It's like fantastic nominees. I think I'd go with No Weddings and a Funeral. I just think that scene was so well edited between Rebecca and Ted.
And that was the best episode too of Ted Lasso season 2.
Yeah. So no, that's and it was a great just episode editing aside as well. We then
if you're a voter and you're kind of looking at the episode titles and you don't care to actually do research to see what one you're voting for, everybody knows what No Weddings and a Funeral is because it's right there in the title. So stuff like that it really helps in situations like this. Remember Ryan Murphy named one of the episodes of Feud the Oscar episode. It was so genius.
The 1952 Oscars, yeah. Well,
we have a winner. We do a picture editing drama series, single camera, Euphoria.
The E, they went with the E.
They went with the E. You were right, and just as I said too,
which is what the kids went with as well in that show, I believe.
Yeah. And we've got right after Squid Game gets its 4th, Euphoria gets its 4th. So they really are going blow for blow at the moment.
And like what Marcus said, that's what that's what Succession is hoping for. They're hoping for like a diluted field so that there's no obvious alternative.
Right. Yeah. And with the amount of love we're seeing for Euphoria, there's no way Zendaya is losing that category.
So far, not a great night for Severance.
No.
I think casting it was in the mix for, production design's in the mix for, maybe not favorite for any of them, but it is yet to get a win. That's eligible in 6 categories tonight.
And Ted Lasso too. I mean, Apple.
Yeah, the Apple shows.
They worked so hard to get the word out, and they show so many different events and FYC parties and things. And I'm very surprised that that both of these shows are not doing as good as they should be doing.
Yeah, and look, while we're on the comedy one, which is the next category, like the interesting thing is, if No Weddings and a Funeral wins for Ted Lasso, that'll be AJ Cataline, who edited that, and will be beating his co-editor Melissa McCoy, who edited the episode Rainbow. And last year when Ted Lasso won, it was the AJ Cataline episode as well, and Melissa McCoy lost for Make Rebecca Great Again. So there's a part of me that wouldn't mind Rainbow winning, which is also well edited.
Mm-hmm.
So Melissa can get one. She did win the Guild Award, I think, for season 1 though.
So after that, we have single camera picture editing for limited or anthology series.
Nominees
are Dope Sick for Black Box Warning, Dope Sick for First Bottle, Pam and Tommy, Station 11, The White Lotus for Departures, and The White Lotus for Mysterious Monkeys.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of think, White Lotus, Departures, that's the finale, so why not?
Okay.
Yeah. But could Pam and Tommy upset here if you have a bit of that vote split?
I was just thinking, because the two Dope Six, the two White Lotuses, the two White Lodi, if they both vote split, it's either going to be Station 11 or Pam and Tommy, and Pam and Tommy seems to have more love within the Academy.
It is already a winner tonight.
Last year, the Queen's Gambit won last year against 2 Mayor of Easttowns and 2 WandaVisions, so it's very likely that Mayor and Wanda split. But then again, Queen's Gambit went on to win limited series, so they clearly loved that show.
And that was just that steamrolled the Tech Awards last year, so it kind of just felt like I don't even think it was vote splitting necessarily. I think people were just checking off the Queen's Gambit. All right,
who's the winner?
Single camera picture editing for comedy series goes to Barry.
Woo!
Is that Barry's second win of the night?
Yes.
Yep.
There we go. I'm going to put it on the board next to Only Murders and Hacks. So we've got a few comedies now on the bottom with 2 Emmy wins. So and no comedy has gone above that yet, because we see that there's some of the dramas, Squid Game, Strange Things, Euphoria, have won more than 2. But so far, limited series and comedies are struggling to get off that 2 wins. But Barry joins the party. Good job, Barry.
The next category, this could be good news for Severance. I think Severance has a really good shot of winning main title design.
Mm-hmm.
The other nominees are Candy, Cowboy Bebop, Foundation, Lacey's Story, Only Murders in the Building, and Pachinko. Only Murders could definitely pull this off as well.
Yeah.
Even though the design for Only Murders was kind of simplistic, just the animation of the apartment building. And the Severance one was, I said this in another Slugfest, it was creepy, but it was good creepy. It really stuck with you. It was, the character waking up and then kind of being dragged through the day. It was really well done.
It sets the mood for the show incredibly well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think also with Only Murders, I think the theme music is a bit more memorable than the actual title sequence, even though it's really good. I think that theme, because it feels like it's so similar to like the themes from like true crime podcasts like Serial.
Mm-hmm.
But I think also though, like with the Only Murders like opening titles, you've got the sort of like animation of the people in the windows, which is really mirrored in Maisel's artwork that becomes a big part of sort of the show moving forward. So I think there is some sort of like nice way where the main title themes is connected to what you see in the show as Maisel paints that sort of building on her wall.
And I believe as the show progresses, I think they make little tweaks to the animation based on the episode.
Yeah,
I love that.
So that's a lot of fun. I though think maybe Severance will win because that's a very showy, like arty sort of like animation-y sort of thing. So that's what I think is going to win. But I'd love to see Only Murders take it out.
Did we talk about Pachinko?
No.
We did not.
I absolutely love that the opening title sequence. If you haven't seen it, it's just go watch it on YouTube. It's the cast dancing around. Actually, we have a winner. We have a winner. Best Picture Editing, limited or movie, single camera goes to The White Lotus Departures.
Lovely. So we get to see this White Lotus move up to 3 Emmy wins and really start to assert its authority in those limited series races. Had some vote splitting with 2 nominees there, as did Dope Stick, its primary competitor for the limited series race. So it was able to get one up on it there. So
I wonder what would have happened if Dope Stick just had 1 nominee. Could Dope Stick have pulled it out?
Dope Stick jumps between different time zones and goes back and forward in time, which is quite showy. So yeah, maybe.
Because if you're a voter, how do you know which one to vote for? Like, let's say you really love Dope Stick and you voted for A, and then someone else that loved Dope Stick voted for B. I wonder what would have happened if it just had the 1.
Yeah.
It depends. I mean, this might have still been White Lotus. It might have been an overwhelming win.
Yeah.
So after main title design, we have another one of the big categories: guest actor in a comedy series.
Mm-hmm.
So our nominees there are Gerard Carmichael for Saturday Night Live, Bill Hader for Curb Your Enthusiasm, James Lance for Ted Lasso, Nathan Lane for Only Murders in the Building, Christopher McDonald for Hacks, and Sam Richardson for Ted Lasso.
Yes. What do we think, guys?
That's a great category. I am picking Nathan Lane. This is his 7th.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Yes.
6, 7 nominations. He's never won. And
He's never won a prime time. He has won 2 daytime Emmys, though.
It's slightly surprising because he's been in so many great shows. But after Jane Lynch lost half an hour ago, she lost for Only Murders. I thought she was pretty much a lock. So now I'm wondering, is Nathan Lane as big of a front runner as I suspected he was? I don't know who would be in second place though.
I think it would be Sam Richardson.
See, I would think it would be Christopher McDonald.
Yeah, you know what? I'm thinking Christopher McDonald too now. Is like he's so respected and had so much work in the industry. He's that character actor that always pops up and does such a memorable voice. And Hacks is doing well tonight. Like it's already won 1 guest acting award. So
Christopher McDonald reminds me of Gerald McCraney, someone that's been working forever. And Gerald McCraney finally got a nomination. His very first nomination for This Is Us, and he won. And this is Christopher McDonald's first nomination. I wonder if he could do the same thing.
Yeah, he's been playing villains for almost as long as I can remember.
And he's got such a presence. Like Christopher McDonald, everything he's
always has.
Yeah, like.
And he's a lovable villain on this show. Like he's the antagonist, but you want him to come on screen. You want to see more of his character.
He's not like his villains in Happy Gilmore or Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah. And then you've got Bill Hader, who, like, if this is a tape system, he plays 3 characters. They're all very similar, but like that's really fun and really comedically showy a performance. And he's got sort of the Barry wind at his back as well. So like I really think if Nathan Lane doesn't win this, it really could land anywhere. And there's no real I guess there's 2 Ted Lasso guys, but there's not even a few Saturday Night Live guys. Like maybe we just see Jared win. Like
he's the only SNL nominee for either guest acting categories this year.
And you know how SNL, it lost directing last night, it lost picture editing last night. So it's not the force it was just a year ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No. So it's like we'll see how it goes.
Because I can't
James Lance for Ted Lasso. Like I know Sam Richardson's probably got the showy performance, but James Lance has been a character for both seasons of the show. He's probably a bit more like of an Roy Trent from The Independent, a bit more of an iconic character in the series. So
Trent Krim, Independent.
Trent Krim, sorry. And I interviewed him too, and I've got the name wrong.
But yeah, I love that Sam Richardson got this nomination after playing Richard Splett on Veep for all those years, that he probably should have been nominated.
Yeah.
I love that his career has been blossoming the way that it has since Veep, and this was especially like the first episode. So he submitted the first episode, although the real comedic part of his performance comes in the second episode, which is actually the one that James Lynch submitted.
Yeah, well, and we've got so it's pretty interesting. And Sam Richardson is so great because on VP was such a, in the world of that show, a very likable character, like one of the more likable, innocent people in that very horrible world. And in this one,
him and the daughter's wife were the only likable characters on that show.
Whereas this is a show where you've got a lot of likable characters in Ted Lasso, and he's a bit of a villain, so it's sort of fun.
Oh, his character's a dick.
Yeah. So he's like the opposite. Like in a very optimistic world, he's the villain. In a cynical world, he's the hero. So he's got great range, Sam Richardson. After comedy guest actor, any more thoughts on comedy guest actor? We not talked about. I think we've touched on all of the nominees there.
I do want to say if Nathan Lane wins, I hope he's there. I really hope he's in that theater because I want to see him give a speech. Yeah, and I know we wouldn't be able to see it here where we are, but it will be on FXX, on the Saturday before the Emmys. So
the speech might get up on YouTube before then, though. It depends on how the TV Academy decides to do it.
No, we'll see. There'll be a way to watch the speeches online in a week. So I hope he is there too. It'd be fantastic. And there's been some great winners in these guest categories over the years. So I think
he always gives great speeches. His speech at the Tony Awards a couple of years ago when he won featured actor in a play for Angels in America was quite moving.
Yeah. And his speech at
Emmy
too.
Yes.
Yes. What's one, Marcus?
Best main title design, Severance.
Okay, so we just talked about the weakness of Severance a few minutes ago, but it's now rallied with a win in main title design. So that's its first Emmy win. Severance is now an Emmy-winning show, and even though it's taken a while to win an Emmy, it's gotten one before the other Apple big contender, Ted Lasso.
And how many of the drama series nominees now have Emmys?
Drama series nominees. Well, Succession has one, Euphoria has some, Severance has one, Squid Game has some, Stranger Things has some. It's Ozark, Better Call Saul, and Yellow Jackets that don't.
Interesting.
Yellow Jackets will not be getting one tonight because its only category it was eligible for this evening was the casting award.
So does Better Call Saul still have a chance? Oh yeah, music supervision.
Yeah, it's got music supervision and maybe even sound editing or something. There might be. I think it's up for 3 tonight. Better Call Saul.
You're right.
And I think we've only had it in one category. So I don't think it's the favorite to win either of those two. So I think Better Call Saul's chances are probably better next week in some of those races, but. It's still alive, as is Ozark. I don't think we've gone through. So Ozark's in 7 categories tonight and 6 next week. One nominee in each category. No vote splitting for Ozark.
And then the next category would be Best Motion Design. And that was actually a juried award that was already given out to Home Before Dark.
Fantastic.
And that's Apple.
Very good.
So Apple wins there.
Mm-hmm. Then we've got Best Music and Lyrics. You might, the Oscar equivalent is Best Original Song. Euphoria, Elliot's song. Euphoria, I'm Tired. The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Maybe Monica. Schmigadoon, Corn Puddin'. That's a good one. And This Is Us, The Forever Now. This is Us's sole nomination of the year, Marcus.
Yes.
Euphoria won last year, I believe.
Euphoria won 2 years ago when it was eligible.
Last year was it's last season.
Yeah, it's last season. Agatha All Along won last year. Schmigadoon, Corn Puddin'. I mean, it's the type of silly song that wins in this specific category. I mean, Comeback Barack won. Crazy Ex-Girlfriend won.
Dick in a Box.
Dick in the Box is probably the most iconic song that has ever won.
Matt Damon, yeah.
The Justin Timberlake SNL monologue, like they do love the silly songs. And so the fact that Euphoria has 2 here is not good news. I wish it just had 1. I think it would win if it just had 1, but I think Schmigadoon will pull out the victory. But my heart says This Is Us. I really want This Is Us to win this.
That would be crazy if its final year, it still is an Emmy winner, but it's for its 1 nomination and it's for music and lyrics.
And it's Mandy Moore's husband is nominated, as well as the composer Siddhartha Khosla.
Oh no! So her husband would be an Emmy winner, and she would have nothing.
Don't get me started.
For This Is Us.
It's Baz Luhrmann all over again. Oh, thank God!
Can I say it?
Go ahead.
This makes me so happy. Nathan Lane has just won the Emmy for Best Comedy Guest Actor for Only Murders in the Building. This is his 7th nomination. He finally won.
Yeah, and he sent in whether he's at the Emmys tonight or not, we don't know yet. But he was able to send in an acceptance speech for his Gold Derby Award a couple of weeks ago. So, and that means Only Murders in the Building has its 3rd Emmy now. So it's now actually our leading comedy contender at the moment. So it's that one's sort of the one ahead in the race, even though Hacks and Barry have both done well, as has Abbott Elementary with its big, shocking casting win at the beginning of the night.
Right.
Leo Min did go backstage to answer questions, and Gold Derby's already posted some video of her backstage that you can check out as soon as you finish watching this live coverage with us. We have, and ding, the Motion Design Award for Home Before Dark is now being awarded on stage. So that is now an Emmy winner, though it was juried, so we knew that going into tonight. Music and lyrics, back to there. What are we thinking, guys?
Well, Chris just said Nathan Lane is not there. It's unfortunate, but I'm still happy for him.
Hopefully they get him next week for presenting.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for music and lyrics, if Euphoria just had 1, like I mentioned, I think Elliot's song would be, since it has 2, if it's going to win, I think Elliot's song is the stronger one. So I think that would win, but Zendaya is up for both. So if Euphoria wins either, she wins, as well as Labyrinth, the composer. Yeah. The next presenter on stage is Skylar Astin for So Help Me Todd. Oh, that's the CBS sitcom.
Fantastic. And I do think with music and lyrics, the After Party was snubbed with its musical episode songs. They're all so good. Maybe there wasn't one that stood out, and really the After Party wasn't a show that registered with Emmy voters. But yes, I think Euphoria might have this. I wonder if they're moving like a little bit away from the silly song. Although Agatha, it was Agatha All Along one last year. So yeah, maybe Schmigadoon is the spoiler.
Maybe. Hey, Apple sent corn pudding to members of the press. I don't know if
actual corn pudding or like a track of the song.
Like actual corn pudding in a picnic basket.
I love that.
Was it
so
good?
they went all out. What, Charlie?
Was it good?
It was not eaten. So it's possible it's good.
I mean, corn pudding is one of my favorite side dishes on Thanksgiving. So
there you go.
Here we go. After music and lyrics, we have best music composition for a movie or limited series. We have 1883, Moon Knight, Station 11, A Very British Scandal, and The White Lotus.
I would say White Lotus.
Yeah, the music it stood out to you as you watched it. The Hawaiian themes that they had going on, and part of the reason I'm not looking forward to season 2 is because we're not going to have the Hawaiian music.
Well. We have a winner for best music and lyrics, and it is Corn Pudding from Schmigadoon.
They did it. Apple is rebounding.
There you go. Zendaya taken down by the humble Corn Pudding.
I think it's because of the vote split. That has to be why.
Yeah. There you go. And again, maybe it's the sort of funny side. I do like how the Emmys don't always go with the most serious thing, and we've actually seen a good night for comedy series, getting some wins over dramas in some categories where you'd often expect the dramas. So I like that. Schmigadoon, now an Emmy-winning series. That was a really fun show. So I'm sort of it tickles me a bit there, and I've seen everything at the Emmys now. Zendaya getting beaten by corn pudding.
Sending food helps.
Yeah. I'd love the White Lotus music to win. I thought the music there was so good. It just got me in the mood for the show.
Right. I think it's
it needs to win this or main title theme music. And I'd almost say the main title theme music, I'd want it to win more, just because whenever that theme music's on, I'm like, okay, I'm here. I'm checking into the White Lotus, and it just has this. It's comedic, it's dark, it's dramatic. There's just so many tones within that music of the show. It's relaxing, but it's creepy. It's I just can't say enough good things about the music.
Hum it for us, Matt, would you? Very good. Yes. I love it.
There we go. Fantastic. So,
and
here
then
we go.
Music supervision is after that, and this one, I think this is one of the locks of the night.
Better Call Saul, Euphoria, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Ozark, Stranger Things, and The White Lotus. What's the lock, Marcus?
It would be Stranger Things. I mean, has any TV show ever in the history of the world ever gone so viral because of a song running up that hill? I don't think it's ever happened before.
Well, the only instance I can think of is before viral was a thing, and I'm thinking of when Wayne's World used Bohemian Rhapsody, and that got it back on the charts, 20 years after the song first released.
Okay, we have a winner. Best music for limited series or movie at The White Lotus.
Yes.
Mysterious Monkeys.
Oh, and that means The White Lotus is moving up to 4 Emmy wins, up with Squid Game and Euphoria. So that's pretty exciting. So it's doing well and really making itself look very menacing to its miniseries competitors for next week. That it came in with the most nominations, and now we see it picking up win after win after win. It has 9 nominations tonight, The White Lotus, and it's spread throughout 8 categories. And then next week, we've got a massive 11 nominations for The White Lotus, though only spread over 5 categories. So ultimately, The White Lotus is 20 nominations this year, but 13 categories it's eligible in, compared to Dope Sick, which is 14 categories, 14 nominations overall in 10 categories at the Emmys. So there you go. Stranger Things.
Stranger Things is probably going to win music supervision, but I did want to mention Marvelous Mrs. Maisel has won this 3 times, 2018, 2019, 2020. So if there is an upset, look for that to be the winner.
Yeah.
Or Euphoria. I mean, Euphoria has completely different styles of music as Mrs. Maisel and Stranger Things, but just equally as good and makes you feel what they want you to feel at the right time.
Yeah, you do think Stranger Things, Maisel, and Euphoria are the 3 shows here that it could land on. What do you think, Charlie?
I'm wary of White Lotus because it feels like it might just be on a bit of a steamroll right now. But I do think I don't know, for some reason I feel like I'm kind of skeptical about Stranger Things actually winning this one. I don't know why, but
I think this is probably the lock of the night, so I don't want to look foolish.
Whoa! Oh, yes.
We have a winner. Stranger Things has just won Best Music Supervision.
Quick, everyone! Now that's the drama front runner.
What did I say when Squid Game got up to 4? I said, now watch Euphoria and Stranger Things win the next 2, and though we didn't win the next 2 awards, but now we have on 4 Emmys Squid Game, Euphoria, and Stranger Things. 3 drama series contenders all on 4. And maybe you're right, Marcus. That could be great news for Succession. There is not one clear alternate to the front runner this year.
It's interesting. The front runners are not doing very well. Like Ted Lasso has not won anything, right? And Succession has only one casting.
Yeah. No, that's true.
But then again, White Lotus is a front runner, and that's cleaning up. So there you go.
Yeah. And you know, sort of as I said, Euphoria and Stranger Things are eligible in quite a lot of categories tonight. So they do have a few more bites at the cherry than Succession does. Although Squid Game is in 7 categories tonight, just like Succession. Though maybe notable that Squid Game, 7 nominations in 7 categories, Succession 13 nominations in 7 categories. So maybe like Squid Game has no vote splitting at all tonight. It's the sole nominee in all its categories, or the sole Squid Game nominee.
It looks like after music supervision, they are doing the in memoriam segment. So we may have like a 5 to 10 minute break.
Yeah. How long was the in memoriam last night, Marcus?
It was between 5 and 10, I would say.
Yeah.
And I've been there before to both shows, like the Saturday show and the Sunday show, and it's the exact same memoriam each night. So in other words, usually the guests don't go to both, so they will only see this once.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then with the edited version on FX, they will just put one of those in there. That makes sense. Because in that they highlight craftspeople, right? Like cinematographers and things, but that would apply to both sets of guests as well.
Right.
So the more so, is there anything just before we move on to the sound editing, which are the next lot of categories, that people want to like unpack? We're now sort of at that sort of point where we're sort of 2/3 of the way through the night. If anyone's got any questions that are watching now too, you can send them in and we could have a go at cracking them open. How are we feeling about the state of tonight?
On your board, on your board, what's the top 2?
So
is that
from last night,
yesterday?
Yeah, the Beatles, Get Back, and Adele, and they won 5 from 5. So they're the front runners for us, and they're not eligible in any more categories tonight or next week or anything. That's them closing their account. So we've got Arcane, I think, is still eligible in a category tonight that we're going to get to talking about soon. It's one of the sound editing. So that could also move up to 5, and then that's done as well. And then we've got Squid Game, Euphoria, White Lotus, and Stranger Things all sitting on 4. With
very cool.
Only Murders in the Building, our top comedy contender, on 3. So talking a bit about the comedy, because I feel like we're focused a bit on the drama with all those sort of wins. Tonight, Hacks is nominated in 12. It has 12 nominations in 9 categories. Only Murders has 11 nominations in 10 categories. And Ted Lasso has 10 nominations in 8 categories. So even though like Only Murders actually is in the most categories of all the comedy series nominees, even though it's got 1 less nomination than Hacks. But Hacks has, you know, all those actresses in the guest actress category, which is why they're in less categories tonight. Barry's 7 nominations in 7 categories. A Marvelous Mrs. Maisel 8 nominations in 8 categories, but it looks like it's What We Do in the Shadows 4 nominations in 4 categories. Yeah, and these are tonight's totals of what can happen tonight. It's not necessarily I haven't added these.
Someone in the comments just asked, what show do we think is overperforming? That's Shar asks that question.
That's a good question.
I would say, you know, I absolutely loved The White Lotus and Dope Sick. I loved them both. And sometimes when a show gets on a streak, it wins everything, like White Lotus is doing, it's really, really unfortunate for the other show, and Dope Sick would be that other show. And I just wish Dope Sick would win something.
I think so far, the one that's overperforming for me is probably Stranger Things, because a lot of people were down about how that performed overall with its nominations. So the fact that it's up to 4 now, That's pretty good. That's better than I thought it would do.
Yeah, although none of the wins are shocking on their own, right? Like it's not like we're surprised by any of the individual wins. Just I think that it's on for when it sort of had a bit of an underwhelming year in terms of what it's used to. But funnily enough, that first season of Stranger Things did super well at the Creative Arts, and then didn't have as good a night when we got to the prime time the week later. That will definitely be the case this year because it's only nominated in Best Drama Series at the Primetime Emmys. So it's definitely one more tonight than it will win next week. So, so I guess that has sort of in one sense overperformed. I think there's a few more, like for me, a few shows that may have underperformed. Like I actually think I'm not too surprised where any show is on the board, but the fact that Severance and Ted Lasso and The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel haven't picked up a few. I think those shows have underperformed a little.
Mm-hmm.
And Succession probably too, although I do think Succession's probably a bit more geared for a big night next week than tonight.
The next presenter is on stage, Coleman Domingo, who is he predicted to win for Euphoria according to Gold Derby? Let me consult the odds and find out. I know I'm predicting him personally, but let me check the odds.
Well, as you check the odds for him, because that is coming up in 4 categories time, let's start to break down the sound editing for a comedy drama series. For 1 hour, you've got Better Call Saul, its last shot to win an Emmy tonight, The Book of Boba Fett, Loki, Star Trek Picard, Star Trek Strange New World, and Stranger Things. What do we think's going to happen here, guys?
I actually think. Oh, you go on, Marcus.
Sound editing 1 hour. I guess Stranger Things. Is it the only series? Oh no, Better Call Saul is also first series. But since Better Call Saul has won nothing tonight and Stranger Things has won 4, this could be number 5.
I think I'm with you on that, especially because it is that. Again, it's the massacre at Hawkins Lab. This is all the sounds that need to be created for that, especially that epic ending to that episode. I would be very surprised if anything else beat it.
Is the Book of Boba Fett maybe the show that could upset it if it got upset? We've seen it win an Emmy already tonight, and that's obviously also a show with a lot of big sounds and.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Lovecraft Country won this last year, and that was a bit of a shocker because The Mandalorian was up. A Star Trek show was up, and we have a winner. Sound editing, comedy or drama, 1 hour does go to Stranger Things.
There you go. It's up to 5 wins now, so it's equal to that Beatles and Adele special now. And Riley has just told us Stranger Things has never lost this, so we should have been probably even more confident than we were.
Makes me wonder if Robert Englund had been able to get into the guest actor category. Would that have boded well for him?
Well, yeah. What happened there? He should have gotten in.
He absolutely should have gotten in there.
Yeah.
Boo Emmys.
Our next category is Best Sound Editing for a Movie or Limited Series. You've got the American Horror Story double feature, Gaslit, Midnight Mass, Moon Knight, and Station 11. What do we think?
This is very interesting because there are no series nominees here. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. Correct.
So I'm going to go with my heart and say Midnight Mass. How great!
There are 2 episodes, though. Wait. Oh no! Never mind. I have it listed twice. Never mind.
I was like, I've got the wrong list.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
How great would it be if that show? It's such an underdog type show. Like I feel like it has a cult following, but it really deserves to be an Emmy winning show.
That would be a cool winner. I'm wondering if this could be Moon Knight's though, because Moon Knight did it's got 7 nominations tonight. So I wonder if this is its chance to come on in. What do you think, Charles?
That's what I was thinking, Moon Knight. But also, I know a lot of people are very fond of Station 11, and I'm wondering if that could possibly pull this one off.
American Horror Story has won this before. They won for Asylum, so it wouldn't be totally out of the blue to see AHS win.
Yeah. Station 11. Yeah, really cool. Good. Let's move on to sound editing for a comedy drama series half hour and animation, where we see Arcane in Barry, Cobra Kai, Love, Death and Robots, Ted Lasso, and What We Do in the Shadows. So we could see Ted Lasso finally get on the board here. We could see What We Do in the Shadows get its second win of the night. We could see Arcane go up to that 5 winning group with the Adele, Beatles special, and Stranger Things. And we could see Barry join Only Murders in the Building on three wins. Or we could see a win for Love, Death and Robots or Cobra Kai. So there you go.
Last year's winner was Love, Death and Robots, and it beat Ted Lasso, which is very interesting. And then Barry won this in 2019. So I guess I'm just knowing that that Ted Lasso lost last year to Love, Death and Robots. I'm going to go on a limb and say Love, Death and Robots is winning again.
Oh, love that pick. What do you think, Charles?
I'm actually going to veer slightly from that. I'm going to predict Arcane to win this one.
Cool. We're going with the animated shows here.
And that would be 5 for Arcane, right?
Yep.
You guys are right.
What do you want to announce it? John?
Yeah, best sound editing for limited or movie goes to Moon Knight.
Is that its first win of the evening?
I think
I
so.
believe so.
I think it is. Okay.
F. Murray Abraham was so dang good in that voiceover performance. I mean, I'm glad Chadwick Boseman won, but I think I would have voted for F. Murray Abraham.
Yeah. So sound editing comedy. I might go Barry for the comedy. I just wonder if that's had a bit of a breakout year in some ways, and
it's
not
won the
breakout.
category before.
Yeah, it's won before, but I feel like people love this season of Barry, and it sort of hadn't been around for a while, so it's like nice to have it back. And there's some really fun stuff. What do you know? What episode Barry's in for there?
The finale.
The finale. So that's a good one.
You know what's interesting? When Barry won in 2019, it beat Love, Death, and Robots. So we have Barry beating Love, Death, and Love, Death beating Ted Lasso. So it's kind of I think I'm going to switch. I'm switching to Barry. Do I have time to switch? Yes. I didn't lock it in yet.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm switching.
We've then got drama guest actor. Would someone like to read us the nominees for drama guest actor?
Absolutely. So we have Adrian Brody for Succession, James Cromwell for Succession, Coleman Domingo for Euphoria, Ariane Moayed for Succession, Tom Pelfrey for Ozark, and Alexander Skarsgård for Succession. I am actually going out on a bit of a limb here because I know most are going with either Skarsgård or Coleman Domingo. I am going with Tom Pelfrey.
Ooh, I would love that.
That'd be a good win. Would love that win.
I did check the odds at Gold Derby. Coleman Domingo is predicted to win. And I really hope he doesn't present to himself, because I know he's up there right now presenting.
Surely.
Chris's head would explode if that happened.
I can't imagine they'll keep him up there.
I don't think he'll be presenting to himself. Oh, boy. So we've got... I think Domingo could win. But I know it's not what he submitted for. I loved him in that Christmas special one that they did. I thought he was unreal in that. That's some of the best acting I've seen on TV in a bit. But he's such a great character, and he's such in some ways a bit of the heart of that show, or the moral compass of that show. So I think he'd be a great winner there. But what a great
I do love James Cromwell's character on Succession, but I don't think he had too much to do this year. I really, if the writers are listening to our Slugfest, I really want a James Cromwell centered episode in season 4 so that we can get him an Emmy for this.
Yeah. Oh, well, Chris must have heard us, because he's let us know that in the late 1970s, Carl Reiner and Rob Reiner presented comedy supporting actor to, wait for it, Rob Reiner.
How does that happen?
So there is a precedent. We have a winner.
Right.
Who is it, Charles?
For best sound editing for comedy drama series half hour and animation goes to Barry.
There you go. Barry also.
Barry and Murders are on 3 wins now. Sort of hot on the heels
Quick,
of some
switch your comedy series predictions.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, I love it.
I feel like it's weird for the comedy guest actor. We haven't said anything about Alexander Skarsgård, who I do think is a very big threat to win this one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think of the Succession. There's 4 of them of those guys. I think he's the stronger one. Like his character was so interesting to watch.
Yeah, him and Cromwell were the ones that stood out to me.
Yeah,
although Adrian Brody, an Oscar winner, he's like self-contained to just one episode. Like that could help him as well.
Yeah, it's a tough category. I love your Tom Pelphrey pick, though. I mean, we all know he deserved to win for season 3, and he didn't even get nominated.
And he does have a good episode. He does have that the episode that he submitted. He has it's nowhere near as impactful as that monologue was in his highlight episode from last time around. But this one, this one is also it has a really standout, striking moment to it.
Yeah,
especially knowing what his fate, that his fate has been sealed in that as well.
Yeah,
and he's not on screen a lot, but we just saw last year Claire Foy won the guest actress category for less screen time than Tom Pelphrey has. Yeah,
everyone can breathe a sigh of relief. Coleman is not on stage now. It's not because he hasn't won, but Angela Sarafin from Westworld is going to present this award, so he will not be presenting to himself.
At least we know he's there. So if Goldberg's correct that he wins, he will be there to give a speech.
Yes, that is good news. So there you go. Yeah, I think it's also surprising Justin Kirk didn't get nominated with so many Succession guys nominated, and he also had such a.
But his character was so limited. I think the way that they were doing is that they were setting him up to be a more prominent character in the 4th season.
So don't. Well, maybe he'll be back. He might be back for
because his character was very interesting to me. I was like I'm very interested in this, and I want to see where this goes.
Yeah, in a show of very unlikable characters. Potentially the most unlikable character in the show. So,
other than the Nazi news anchor that they had from the second season.
Mm-hmm. So maybe just too unlikable even for Succession to get an Emmy nomination.
And we just saw. I mean, we just saw Laurie Metcalf beat 3 of her co-stars for Hacks. So it's possible that one of these Succession guys will pull it off. But
yeah.
I would love if Coleman Domingo won. I've loved him since. Yes, I watch Fear the Walking Dead. I think I'm the only person alive that watches it. His character on that show is kind of over the top, but he you can't take your eyes off him when he's on screen.
I loved him. He did a single guest appearance on BoJack Horseman, and he was incredible in that episode.
Well, that's cool. Yes, so we'll see what happens there. That is the next category. It should be getting announced pretty soon. And then we're going to have our last 2 music categories will be after that, which is Best Music Composition for a Series, which is The Flight Attendant, Loki, Only Murders in the Building, Schmigadoon, Severance, and Succession. What do we like? That could go a number of ways. There is such different music on display in that category.
It looks like this usually goes to the
There
epic.
we go.
Who won?
Guest actor in a drama series is Coleman Domingo for Euphoria. Good on him.
Very well deserved.
The man who, what was it, a couple of years ago, rocked a pink tux at the Oscars, and it was awesome.
So it now goes up to 5 wins as well with Stranger Things, and Euphoria on 5 wins. Let's see if Squid Game can get up there. The Squid Game is up for main title theme music at least, so there isn't. Squid Game could get up there with them as well.
I have to say this year's crop of 4 guest acting winners is probably one of the best in a long time. Coleman Domingo.
Nathan Lane,
Laurie
Metcalf.
Metcalf, and
Liu Mi.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
No, this is one of the best batches we've had in a while.
Yeah, and Chris actually sent through to us earlier. Saturday Night Live has lost every category it's eligible in this year, which is so wild. Considering how well it's done.
Switch your prediction to Black Lady Sketch Show.
I'm very seriously considering that at the moment.
I actually I've had that since the prediction center opened because of how poorly SNL did in these guest categories.
Yeah.
Chris says that Coleman is giving his speech and he's really emotional on the stage.
Oh,
so good. Could be speech of the night.
He's someone who has been working for so long in film, television, stage. It's such a wonderful win for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and nice that was the last one of the four guest acting awards. It seems like a really a great moment for that sort of crop of categories to end on. So what do we think for music composition for a series? The music is such a key role in all of these shows.
Mm-hmm.
I am actually leaning towards Only Murders because, again, that's that episode, The Boy from 6B, and you don't have a lot, and since you don't have spoken dialogue throughout much of it, it hinges on that score. So that's why I'm keeping my eye out on that.
The past winners are The Mandalorian won this twice, Game of Thrones won this twice, and those are very epic type scores.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking Succession maybe. I mean, Nicholas Britell he's a superstar composer, and he lost this category last time he was up. So
But
I think he won the theme song.
Yeah, he won the theme song. Yeah.
The
we have a
music
winner.
Oh,
Wow.
yes. The winner for best music composition for a series is Severance.
Nice.
Which I was about to start to talk about because I think the music for Severance is so important in creating that world and that feel. I just think like it just gets in your head. It creates this ear. Like I think the music in that is unreal. I do think Severance, Succession, and The White Lotus are three shows where I think the music have really increased my enjoyment of those shows so much. So I think, for me, any music awards for Severance, Succession, or The White Lotus are very well deserved.
It sets the mood so perfectly throughout that entire series.
It's so good. Main title theme music: Loki, Only Murders in the Building, Severance, Squid Game, and The White Lotus.
I mean, how could you vote against Severance when it just won? I mean, the theme song is also within the score itself, so I could totally see Theodore Shapiro winning back to back.
But Marcus, The White Lotus also won the limited category. So how could you not award The White Lotus?
You're right.
So we're going to see the two music shows.
Severance won the main title. The main titles category, so this would be the perfect, bookend.
Yeah, we're seeing the music, the winning music
the
on White Lotus go head to head with the design for Severance, and we have a winner. It is the main title theme music goes to The White Lotus. So there you go.
It's because you hummed it earlier. That's why it won.
Yeah. So that is now on 5 wins. There you go. Actually, how much has Severance won? Has that won 2 now? Because it won series and main title design?
I think it's won 3.
2 or 3. I need confirmation before I put it on the board, guys. So we'll need to just quickly check that. I'm so happy The White Lotus won theme music. I do think that was the theme music of the year. So
it was really good. Yeah.
Yeah. But Severance, great. So I'm glad Severance won the score award. Since it because I'm glad because that music was so good. So how many is Severance on? We'll confirm that, and I'll add it to the board in a minute.
The next presenter is out there. It's Melissa Fumero from Blockbuster.
And we've got some short form acting categories now. Jacinth Blankenship from Intersection, Patricia Clarkson from State of the Union, Desi Lydic from Desi Lydic Foxplains, Ray Seahorn for Cooper's Bar, and Sydney Washington for Bridesman.
People are commenting that Severance won 2.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll put 2 on the thing.
How could you vote against Ray Seahorn in this category? She had such the narrative, never ever nominated for Better Call Saul, and then she finally gets in for Better Call Saul as well as this short Cooper's Bar. But you know, Patricia Clarkson is a beloved actress as well. I'm going to go with
Emmy winner.
Yeah, for 6 Feet Under, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with Ray Seahorn.
Love to see Ray Seahorn win. That'd be so exciting. I hope she wins next week for Better Call Saul. And it would be weird if she wins an acting award not for Better Call Saul, but still pretty happy. Be pretty happy if she wins. I'm pretty sure she's there tonight because I saw on Instagram she was, or something, or Twitter or something, some photo of her getting ready. Lumen, I've got the Lumen logo for Severance on 2 wins.
Nice.
So there we go. 2 wins for Severance right next to Hacks there. So let's go with, so we've got those actresses.
Yeah, I'm thinking Patricia Clarkson on that.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope Ray Seahorn, but it's really, these are so hard to predict, these short form acting ones. Short form actor, Anthony A. Anderson Anacostia, Bill Burr, Immoral Company. Oh, just wait. Who's the winner, guys? For actress.
Short form actress goes to Patricia Clarkson, State of the Union. She is not there, unfortunately, but congrats to her.
Which means the next category is going to be coming up very soon. So we've got Anthony A. Anderson Anacostia, Bill Burr, Immoral Compass, Brendan Gleeson, State of the Union, Tim Robbins, I think you should lead with Tim Robinson. Oh, so Tim Robinson, I think you should lead with Tim Robinson. And, I'm so sorry I'm going to get this name wrong, Ikechukwu Ufamundu for Words with Ike, in parentheses, cake.
The fact that State of the Union just won tells me there is some love for the show. So Brendan Gleeson, I think, is my pick.
I'd say he's the favorite, but I'd keep an eye out for. I think you should lead with Tim Robinson. I know a lot of people love that show.
Yeah, and obviously not something that Patricia Clarkson had to contend with in her category.
And Matt, you interviewed Anthony A. Anderson?
I interviewed Anthony A. Anderson. He's someone who's been reading Gold Derby for a bit, so he's very excited to get an Emmy nomination, get his first Emmy nomination, and and he's been working on that show for so long before this category even existed. They were making Anacostia, so it's really nice that he didn't make it to get Emmys or anything like that. He just made it because he had a story he wanted to tell, and that was a great chat with him.
That neighborhood's actually just a couple miles away from me.
Oh, there you go.
Yep.
There you go.
Anacostia, Southeast DC.
Fantastic. I think I also spoke with Jacinth Blankenship.
Speaking of which, we have a winner. Short form actor, short form comedy or drama actor goes to Tim Robinson for I Think You Should Leave with Tim Robinson.
There we go.
Well
done. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 more categories tonight. So we are running out of time. So we're running out of time.
Hairstyling is next. Contemporary hairstyling. The nominees are American Horror Stories, Blackish, Euphoria, Hacks, Impeachment, and Ted Lasso. This is interesting. You have comedies, you have drama, and you have a limited, and you have an anthology. Euphoria has been way overperforming tonight, so I'm going to stick with Euphoria for this one.
Same.
This is Ted Lasso's last chance to win tonight. So if it does not win this, it is going away tonight empty-handed. Again, Tonight it's eligible in 8 categories. Next week is eligible in 6. So there's plenty more places for Ted Lasso to win. Yeah.
I have a question for the chat room. What's the last drama series or comedy series to win comedy or drama without winning a single creative art?
I was actually just wondering the same thing.
The Office win, or did that win casting or something that year?
Actually, I don't think it won anything that other than comedy series that year.
The Office, if it did, only won one other thing. Yeah.
We have a winner for best hairstyling contemporary. Congrats to Impeachment, American Crime Story.
Oh, there you go.
So that means all 3 American Crime Stories have now won Emmys. The Assassination of Gianni Versace won, and of course OJ won a ton.
We now have our last 2 cinematography awards, the first of which is Best Cinematography for a Multi-Camera Series, where we've got Be Positive, The Conners, and How I Met Your Father. What do we think?
Well, How I Met Your Father is already an Emmy winner earlier tonight. I don't know. I kind of feel like the Conners hasn't this guy Donald Morgan won several over the years.
All right. Not sure about that.
I think didn't he have the most Emmys for a Black individual before RuPaul?
I think you might be right about that.
But yeah, I think since How I Met Your Father already won tonight.
It is him because he's won 10 career Emmys.
Yeah. What about I wouldn't what won last year in this category?
Country Comfort won last year, and The Ranch won 2 years ago.
So boy, they really could go with anything, couldn't they? So
the Conners actually lost last year.
The last presenters of the night, we get this from Denton, who is in the press room. We got 2 Gold Derby guys, Denton and Chris Boomer Beachum, in there right now, getting us the news so we can break to you live the winners of the Emmys. The last presenters for the night are Ralph Macchiano and William Zabka. So that's cool.
I believe he pronounces it Ralph Macchio.
Oh, yeah, sorry. My bad. I
like Macchiano better, though.
I do too.
I'll blame the Australian accent, even though that's probably not the reason that I got it wrong. Okay. And then we've got cinematography for a movie or limited series. And here we've got Dope Sick, 1883, 2 nominations for 1883. So you got the 1883 episode and the 1883 Lightning Yellow Hair episode. Then you got Gaslit, Moon Knight, and Station 11. Can Dope Stick get a win here without the White Lotus mix?
Where's the White Lotus? That's very interesting.
Is it vulnerable for best miniseries next week?
No
cinematography. This is the one that will determine it.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a winner for cinematography. Multi-camera goes to How I Met Your Father. That goes on the board.
Well, I did not have a How I Met Your Father logo prepared, so I will cut one up as we're talking about the next category.
Cinematography, though, you don't think of Dope Sick as maybe having...
No, I'm not sure if it will be the winner.
Maybe something like a period piece, maybe.
Like 1883?
Yeah, or maybe vote splitting. Maybe it'll be Moon Knight. I think Moon Knight could take this out, guys.
You're right. There are 2 1883s. Moon Knight.
Well, with nominations, it's a visually distinct show.
Stars is praying that Gaslit wins so that they can actually win an Emmy.
Oh, Stars.
They're trying. They put so much money into the the Emmy game, and I don't think the voters are watching, which is really sad.
Yes. So we'll see how it goes. And then final category for the night. Final category for the night is going to be Best TV Movie, where we have Chippendale Rescue Rangers, Ray Donovan the Movie, Reno 911, The Hunt for QAnon, The Survivor, and Zoe's Extraordinary Christmas. What do we think, guys?
Chris just says, How I Met Your Father equals 2 Emmys, SNL 0, Ted Lasso 0, Mrs. Maisel 0, and he forgot 2, Better Call Saul 0. Crazy. But okay, so it was a TV movie. You know, Charlie told me that Chip and Dale was going to win, so I did copy him. So
I said I'm predicting it. I did not say definitively it is going to.
but you were right about Primeval last year. So when it comes to animation, you know your stuff. So I officially changed my pick at Gold Derby. So we'll see whether you get punished or not.
I think it's one of the ones.
How I Met Your Father is on the list. There you go. How I Met Your Father.
It's one of those ones
continue.
where I think it was probably the one that people were most talking about because it was one of those things that for a lot of people it had no business being as good as it was.
So good. And
And
it
we have a
was
winner.
not my... Oh,
Dope Sick
oh,
has just won a cinematography for a limited series or movie. They are thanking their stars that White Lotus was not nominated.
yeah.
There.
There you go. Dope Sick is an Emmy-winning show now. Right when we were starting to maybe rule it out from winning this week, I think next week it's got a good chance in 1 or 2 categories. But so there we go.
Michael Keaton, right? He's the front runner there.
Yeah. So look, I grew up on Disney adventures, and Chip and Dale was not probably my favorite. I was a bit more of a Darkwing Duck guy. But I still loved watching the Chip and Dale. It was a good substitute. And so for me, it was just great seeing a film that was so funny with those 2 characters. And I love that it's a mystery that they're sort of solving and all that sort of stuff. So
yeah, Riley says Darkwing Duck, and I was all about gargoyles. I mean, I want a Gargoyles movie next Disney Plus. Come on.
Tailspin was pretty good too.
Tailspin was the other one I was thinking of. Yep.
Yeah, but here we go. For Riley, here we go. I've got a little Darkwing Duck right here. There you go.
So you would think, though, because of the material, that the normal favorite would be The Survivor.
Yes, I think The Survivor is good. So Survivor is my prediction.
Now, is this the Jeff Probst show? No.
If it was, it wouldn't have been nominated.
Okay, we're about to have your enthusiasm misunderstanding of the word survivor here. So
yeah.
But you mentioned earlier, Matt, of all of these 5 nominees, the only one with the second nomination is Zoe, and that was choreography. So this category is just not very strong, I guess you would say.
It hasn't been strong in a while.
Remember, this used to be the category that everyone was waiting on pins and needles to find out what happened. And then what was it? Dolly Parton won last year.
That's why I think anything is possible this year with what'll win here.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Say it.
What's one, Charlie?
Television movie goes to Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for telling me to switch, because I owe you that point.
Oh my goodness!
Wow, I can't believe they actually. Good for them. It's a great win.
And
Such a great win.
And really continues something that we've seen a bit throughout the night: comedies triumphing over dramas in categories where you're seeing them going head to head, which is you'd never see. The Oscar, I can tell you, the Oscars wouldn't ever give Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers the best movie award.
It actually was a good movie, though. I mean, it was not.
It was great.
It was not just a typical story. They were basically playing actors. Like Chip and Dale were actors in the cartoon we used to watch as kids. It was a very original take.
And it felt like it was very much in that mold of the Lord and Miller movies, like Lego Movie or Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. It had that same sort of feel to it. So I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, I remember watching it, and the guy I was watching it with, we were just watching it, and we're laughing our asses off at it, and we're just it's not just that it's funny, it's genuinely enjoyable. And it's not just this cashing in on nostalgia for nostalgia's sake.
Yeah. No, it was fantastic. Well, as the theme song goes, it never fails once they're involved. Somehow, whatever's wrong gets solved. And I think the Emmys have solved some things that are wrong by giving Chippendale Rescue Rangers the best TV movie of the year.
We're cool. We're cool, Emmys, for now.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens next week.
Yeah. Oh, man. Well, there you go. What a night of Emmys. What surprises and twists and turns along the way. I guess let's have a look at the board. So we've got The White Lotus finishing the night on 5, Euphoria finishing on 5, Stranger Things finishing on 5. We've got Squid Game on 4 wins. And then leading up the comedy contenders, we've got Only Murders in the Building and Barry on 3. And then a mix of things on 2. We've got Hacks. We've got, I was going to say Lumen, I mean Severance, and How I Met Your Father. So there's shows from tonight that have got multiple Emmy wins. However, I think also a big story is that Abbott Elementary won Best Casting, and that kicked off the night. And really, from Abbott Elementary winning Best Casting to kick things off to Chippendale Rescue Rangers winning Best TV Movie to close out the night, they're 2 quite important wins.
And remind me again, did you say Abbott only had that 1 nomination tonight?
Yeah, that was its only thing tonight. So it got 100% of its wins.
So what does that mean for next week? Because it won the award that you want to win. Let's be honest, and it could very easily win writing, supporting actress for Janelle.
Yep.
Is this the new front runner?
Apparently, some people are switching to it. We've got reports of people on Gold Derby switching their predictions to Abbott Elementary. I would probably say no, but let's have a look at next week and what.
I am very wary of saying that because I would be more willing to say it if it had nominations for directing and editing. Even like if it didn't have directing, if it had an editing nomination, I would. But I still think like maybe that because that casting one is a big win. But remember, like we were thinking that again, like we always go back to 2017 with when Stranger Things had its winning streak at the Creative Arts Awards, and the what's the word I'm looking for, the topping to that, I don't know what word I'm looking for, was Stranger Things winning casting. But I think it shows that, and the fact that you combine the fact that it wins casting and Ted Lasso wasn't able to pick up anything else anywhere. Maybe it is that second place show. Maybe it's not. Yeah, maybe that second place show isn't, Only Murders or Barry or Hacks. Maybe it's Abbott.
Gabriel just mentioned Coda, and Coda is another example of something that when the nominations came out, maybe not all the voters had seen it yet, and by the time the second round voting happened, it won everything, which was just 3. But if more people had seen it, when nomination voting was happening, it would have got more nominations. I wonder if that's similar to Abbott. Like, if more people had seen it, would it get in for directing? Would it get in for picture editing? Because certainly a lot of people have seen it now. It just won the TCA for Program of the Year.
Yeah.
It's definitely a possibility there.
So for next week, looking up, so it's only nominated for 1 category tonight, casting. It took it out. Next week, it has 6 nominations spread over 5 categories. That is comedy series, actress in a comedy series, 2 nominees for supporting actress in a comedy series, supporting actor in a comedy series, and writing. I'm right, correct? It's writing, isn't it?
Yes.
Right.
And I have it winning writing.
I think I may copy that one. Yeah.
I think writing could be what looks very promising on the back of that.
And I think, and Janelle James is, I think, a really strong possibility to win supporting actress.
Yep.
Boy.
That category loves repeats, though, so that's why I'm worried about Hannah Waddingham repeating again repeating.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of. Yeah, that's very.
And she's got the funeral episode. She's fantastic in that. Yeah. But I think Abbott Elementary has really entered the scene as a key player. But I do wonder if it could be one of those like casting often goes with series, but not always. It's not like a series becomes a lock. I think Stranger Things was a great example you raised about, Charlie. And it is a first season show, which sometimes also do better in the casting awards. I also think don't discount that Barry and Only Murders in the Building both picked up 3 wins tonight. And I do, maybe they could have done better in some categories, like Jane Lynch not winning for Only Murders is a bit weird. But I don't want to overread into just one category in isolation. And I do think in some ways, if Emmy voters aren't going with Ted Lasso this year, like, what's the show they vote for? And I could really see, like, Only Murders in the Building that was airing its 2nd season while voting was taking place. I think there's so much love and nostalgia for, like, Steve Martin and Martin Short being back on a TV show, and I think a lot of goodwill for them. I think it sort of talks about podcasts and stuff, but there's a real old school quality to the show with a sort of whodunit in a building in New York. And like, I do wonder if actually Only Murders is the show that's going to threaten Ted Lasso the most.
And then for drama, Succession winning casting, and then all these other shows kind of spreading the wealth. To me, there's no second place show now. So I think this was actually a good night for Succession, even though it only won one. It won the one it wanted. And imagine if Euphoria had won like all of everything it was up for. Then I would say Euphoria could probably beat it, but it didn't.
Although I would say like Euphoria could very well be the kind of show that, because of like its production elements, and it's a show that the Academy could do better at a creative arts than a prime time.
Yeah. Like Boardwalk Empire, right?
Yeah, like Boardwalk Empire, like Stranger Things, like, that just hits a lot of the right boxes to get things like music and makeup, like the makeup in Euphoria for contemporary makeup. Like, that's in some ways competitive category, but not a surprising win at all. I don't know if that necessarily means it's on track to win drama series. So I do think, and especially Stranger Things and Euphoria are 2 shows that I think are built very well for particular creative arts categories.
And neither of those have writing or directing nominations, correct?
I
know Stranger Things doesn't have either of those nominations.
No, I think you're right. I think you're right about that.
Yeah, so imagine if Martha Kelly had won the Drama Guest Actress Award. Everybody would be, flipping all their stuff right now to Euphoria.
Stranger Things is only nominated in drama series next week.
Yeah.
So it's on 5 now. It can only get to 6. So like, to sort of show where these shows could land. Like, so we've got Stranger Things. Its cap is 1 more than what it's currently on. That's as high as it can go. Euphoria is better. Euphoria's in a better spot. That's nominated only in 3 categories though next week. That's Sydney Sweeney, Zendaya, and drama series. So that can get up to 8, whereas a Squid Game is nominated in 7 nominations over 6 categories. So Squid Game, let's move Adele to the side for a second. Squid Game, what's 4 plus 6 is 10, obviously. So Squid Game could skyrocket up to 10 if it won all. But it just shows that there's more potential. Squid Game probably won't win all 6, but it could win like 3 and jump over what these shows would do even if they won all of their awards. And then you got Severance on 2, but Severance on 2, that's eligible in 6 categories itself. So that's where we could see Severance, if it does well with some stuff, go up to 8. That's sort of Severance's ceiling. And Succession is, I think, another one that is 6 categories next week. So Succession, which was the drama series frontrunner going into tonight, and potentially still is, that could get a maximum of 7, is sort of where Succession is. I'll put a $sign on Succession for money. Sorry, it's a bit messy, but that Succession could get up to 7 if it won all of its next week, if it just swept. So that's sort of showing you different things. On the comedy side of things, I might use a different color for comedy just so it doesn't get too confusing. You've got so the leading comedy contenders is Only Murders in the Building, which is eligible in only 4 categories next week. So that could go up, to about 8. So up where Severance is. Barry is in 5 categories. So Barry could actually go. And again, this isn't what they can't all win all of these, but this is maximum. This is ceilings for Barry. So that's your Barry ceiling there. And Ted Lasso, which won nothing tonight, is still eligible in 6 categories. So you could have Ted could just go on a rocket ship and go, probably won't win all 6, but could get 4 or 5 wins and overtake all the other comedies. In terms of White Lotus, that's in 8 categories next week. And therefore, it's sitting on 5 now, but could go 8 plus 5 is what, sorry?
Okay, so White Lotus is up in...
Did I say 8 categories? So
yeah, you said 8. It's up in limited series.
Sorry, I read tonight's numbers for that one instead. 5 categories.
Gotcha.
5 categories. So I'm 5 now. So that could go up to 10 is the White Lotus sort of ceiling. So it looks like 10 is the most awards any show will be winning this year. We're not going to see... which sort of makes sense. The record that The West Wing held for a long time before Game of Thrones came along was sort of 9 Emmy wins. So if you get around 7 or 8, that's a really good total.
I just made some changes to my prediction.
Oh, yeah, what did you change, Marcus?
I put Abbott Elementary at number 1.
Whoa!
Do that again.
Whoa!
I put Janelle at number 1. And I put Abbott winning writing.
Well,
so yeah, I mean Ted Lasso had a terrible night.
I still think Ted Lasso is going to win. Maybe I'll be in a different space in a couple of days, but I still think it's I'm not going to just do a poor night tonight, because I do think we're going to see Ted Lasso really perform well in some of those acting races next week. We'll see maybe Brett Goldstein or Hannah Waddington. Do you think lead actor's really up in the air, though?
Oh, absolutely.
I think that one's... I don't really know where that's going to land.
Do you guys have Bill Hader or Jason Sudeikis?
I have Jason, but that's the thing where I'm becoming a bit less confident.
I have Hayder.
That's an exciting race. I mean, because Bill Hader has never lost. He's 2 for 2, and Jason Sudeikis is 1 for 1. So somebody's gonna lose.
Yeah,
possibly both.
Yeah. What do you think about drama? So going back to drama series. So, are we still thinking Succession's out in front?
I think so. Yeah,
slightly, but But I mean, the positive for it is that none of its competitors on their own dominated. But Squid Game, Euphoria, and what was one of the other ones that did really well tonight?
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things all did incredibly well tonight, and I think Squid Game is its strength tonight makes me think maybe that could be the alternative.
Yeah, well, I think because with Stranger Things and Euphoria, they are out in front after tonight, but they have the least amount of nominations next week. And I do think, without writing, directing nominations, I'm not really that high on them. But Squid Game is looming large as a threat. It won an acting award tonight. I wonder about the alternative. It seemed to outperform Severance in some of these categories, so maybe it's Squid Game rather than Severance. That is the alternate. And then the tricky thing with Better Call Saul is I think any momentum that show would have been picked up after nominations came out and really wouldn't apply to what we saw tonight. So I think with the strength of Squid Game, I don't think Better Call Saul's the alternate, but I do think it's just not that affected one way or the other because I don't think had any anticipation that he wins for that tonight.
I think it was Riley that had a comment where Squid Game was not on the ballot for casting. I think that was Riley's comment.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, let's say Squid Game was nominated for casting and it won that, everyone would be switching to Squid Game for drama series. Right?
Yeah,
I would be very tempted to as well.
Yeah,
And that also makes you kind of reevaluate possibly, all the other acting categories. I know Lee Jung-jae is considered is one of the front runners for drama actor already, but does that mean, maybe people start thinking maybe Oh Young-soo over Kieran Culkin, or what's the supporting actress? I can't remember her name. Was it Jung Ho Young?
Yeah, Jung Ho Young.
Jung Ho Young, yeah. She maybe her winning over Julia Garner, which is actually what I have right now. And then I currently have Severance winning if I remember correctly, I have Severance winning the writing award, but maybe with this, maybe with Severance didn't do as well tonight. Maybe Squid Game takes that. Maybe Succession still takes that.
Yeah,
exciting stuff. I can't wait to see what happens.
And we're all pretty confident of White Lotus after tonight, I would imagine.
Yeah, I have Dope Sick in limited series currently, but I'm going to be switching to White Lotus.
Right. I'm so happy Dope Sick won an Emmy. Like, it's an Emmy-winning show. I can live with that.
And hopefully Michael Keaton wins next week as well.
Who's
I'm
that?
Still curious.
Oh, Michael Keaton. Yeah.
I'm still curious because it did. How many did it win total? 5 tonight.
White Lotus.
White Lotus.
Yeah, 5. Yeah.
So, and it was pretty spread over different tech fields. So I think I feel pretty confident with Mike White winning the directing award. But the writing award, I'm still really, really uncertain about.
Or is there a chance that Mike White doesn't win the writing award and instead no one wins the writing award? Could no one win over Mike White? That's a bit of an old callback for Gold Derby, because when he was a contestant on Survivor, in our prediction center, we had no one winning the immunity challenge.
Was he on Survivor or The Amazing Race?
He was also both.
Oh, he was on. Okay, I know he was with his father on The Amazing Race.
Yeah.
In our prediction center, we had no one winning the immunity challenge at better odds than him winning the immunity challenge on the week that he won the immunity challenge. And when me and Marcus saw him backstage after the final, he said, fuck Gold Derby. He really, really. So I think maybe no one will win Best Writing next week. Maybe no one.
Could that be why he did not do an interview with us? Danny Strong. Danny Strong from Dope Sick did 2 interviews with us.
Mike White certainly knows how to hold a grudge, apparently.
Oh boy, Mike White. But love White Lotus. Great show.
I love Mike White too. I think he's really
he's good. He's really good. He played a great Survivor game too. Anyway, sorry, Charlie, I cut you off with that. What were you going to say about?
So I have Dope Sick winning the writing award now, and I'm very torn as to whether I keep it in there or I switch to White Lotus, because it might just be one of those things where it just picks it up wherever it can. It wins 5 of 5 categories next week is a strong possibility.
What we're going to wrap up in a couple of minutes. If anyone's got any questions that's watching right now, send them through, and Riley might whack them up for us to take a crack at it. There's something we haven't touched on that you'd like us to touch on. While we maybe wait for some of them to come in, guys, what are your overall thoughts? What's at the top of your head now? We've had the Creative Arts Emmys signed, sealed, and delivered now. We all in anticipation for next week's prime times. What are we thinking, Marcus?
I lived the moment where Barack Obama became an Emmy winner, knowing that Donald Trump had lost an Emmy 20-some years ago for The Apprentice. 2 Emmys.
2, yeah.
For the rest of my life, I will know where I was when Barack Obama became an Emmy winner.
Yeah, that's cool. Charles.
So I like that we actually got things pretty spread out, at least in terms of comedy and drama series. The limited series, it did really lean to White Lotus, but I'm glad we got it spread out. And I really, really hope that we get that same thing next week, because the one thing I've been really nervous about with these Emmys is I know we won't have anything like the complete sweep that The Crown and Schitt's Creek had, but I just really hope that we don't have, one show winning like 6 of the 7 categories or something. So I really hope that we keep that spread out. And, I want to see, next week I want to see Abbott Elementary win some. I want to see Ted Lasso win some. I want to see Barry win some. I wouldn't mind seeing Only Murders win some on the comedy side. And same with drama. I'd love to see Succession, Squid Game, Severance, and possibly Euphoria all come away with wins that evening.
I totally agree. After 2 years of sweeps, Schitt's Creek and The Crown, I think I want to go back to spreading the wealth. Like, there's so much good television out there. And, we kind of saw that tonight with a lot of shows won. Ted Lasso didn't, but it'll win something next week, probably.
Awards HQ did ask, is Zendaya now a lock? Is Euphoria's strength? What do you think? Yeah?
I thought she was a lock beforehand. I never really bought into this whole Melanie Lynskey narrative because for every time I've heard someone say, well, Yellow Jackets did really well. It's like, okay, yeah, Euphoria did even better. I mean, I had Yellow Jackets getting into drama series. I did not see Euphoria getting into drama series and then breaking double-digit nominations as well for its second season. So I think the way that it just shot up, I've always had Zendaya as close to a lock as you can with the Emmys.
And Melanie Lynskey, she won the Critics' Choice, but Zendaya wasn't eligible, right? Because Euphoria aired later. Is that right?
I can't remember.
Somebody in the comments will let us know. I bet.
I think for me, it's more probably like, I think Laura Linney still poses a bit of a threat. Ozark's been a favorite with Emmy voters for years, and she's such a respected actress. Like, I think if we see an upset, it might come more from Linney popping up. So I wouldn't quite call Zendaya a lock, but I'm predicting her, and I'm very comfortable with that prediction.
Yeah, there is that stat where Laura Linney has won an Emmy for every role she's been nominated for. And so, Wendy Bird is the one that will break that stat or make that stat.
It always feels like Laura Linney wins when we're not predicting her, and she loses when we are predicting her. I don't think many people were predicting her in 2008 for John Adams. I think most people had Felicia Rashad for The Raisin in the Sun for lead actress in a movie in 2008. She wins there. Then 2011, she's the front runner for comedy actress, loses to Melissa McCarthy. 2 years later, everyone's talking about Jessica Lange and Elizabeth Moss for lead actress in a movie. Linney wins there. And then we get to Ozark, and she's the favorite in our odds, and Zendaya wins there.
Yeah. There you go.
So I just checked. Zendaya was not eligible at the Critics' Choice because the show aired after that eligibility period. So it would have been, I wonder if, Melanie Lynskey would have beaten Zendaya.
That's interesting. Very interesting. We've got, so there we go. I think that probably brings us to the end of our live show. It's always so fun to chat Emmys with you guys and to break the winners live. I don't know how long we've been doing this for, this Creative Arts live show. We must be closing in on 10 years. I don't know.
I think my first one was 2013.
Okay. So we must be closing in on 10 years. People might have noticed in my background, I've got an item from each of the drama or comedy series nominees. And not literally from them, but just an homage to each of them. So that could have been a fun thing to look out for while you were watching along. And I had a shovel for Barry. I think that fell off stage. Anyway.
I was expecting you to hold up some sort of leg and go, and I got one of his victims here.
I love it. Well, thanks so much, Marcus, Charles, and Rob, for joining us to talk. Thanks so much for Riley, who's produced and directed these live shows as well. He does such a good job of that. Thanks to Marcus and Latasha yesterday, who were giving us the winners as they came in. And thank you to Denton and Chris Boomer Beachum, who have been taking care of it today. And thanks everyone for watching this. You can go to goldderby.com. It's a big week to be on the site, to be chatting Emmys in the forums, making your predictions, moving things up, moving things down based on what's broken down. And thank you everyone for watching. Good luck with the Emmys for next week.